What is going on, everybody? Playoffs or bust here for the Broncos and the Chiefs. Matt Smith, Oren Lomena is going to join me here momentarily, but here we go. In Week 18, Denver at home, trying to snap an 8-year playoff drought against the Skeleton Crew Chiefs. As we see here, no Chris Jones, no Karlaftis, no McDuffie, no Kelsey, no Mahomes, and they were stranded and taxing, at the airport yesterday for 5 hours due to the ice storm. Broncos get the ball first. Chiefs win the toss, defer. Nick's a little play action. I like that to get things going, move the pocket. Nice little first down to Adkins there. I like that. Good drive starter there. Get the first down and get going. I like that. Get Bo on the run. Man, I'm fired up for this one. Let's go is right. How about these throwbacks? And how about that field? With the sun coming in right over in power, the afternoon kickoff. Does it get better than this, Broncos country? Are you kidding me right now? I like it. What's up, chat? What is going on, everybody? Get yourselves in the chat. We'll be chiming in all show. I mean, Kansas City's got nothing to play for here. They brought nobody. Nice carry there to McLaughlin. Little counter. I like that. I mean, how are we feeling about this? Broncos closed at what, like an 11.5-point favorite in this game? I mean, you've got no excuses here. I know D-Mac, I've seen him. He's doing his D-Mac thing where he's basically, it's over already. Game's over. Look at Shawnee P. Shawnee P with the glasses on. Prescription lenses, by the way. Can't be fucking up the play sheet this year. All right, here you go. 2nd and 6. Get Franklin in a little pre-snap motion. Swing it out to him. Nice play call. Hey, first down. You'll take it. Nice opening drive here from the Broncos. Unis are fire, guys. The unis are absolutely fire. I mean, if you had these, and by the way, I heard that GP, the head honcho, okay? Well, we got a flag here. Oh, are you kidding me? Oh, it's declined. Okay, it's just a defensive holding before that. You'll take it. Oh, illegal use of the hands. Illegal use of the hands. Well, so I heard that Greg Penner, when he saw the cut of these new standard jerseys they have, wasn't all that thrilled, and basically more or less said, hey, eventually we'll be redoing them. And so these throwbacks, though, they're so clean. Are you kidding me? Who doesn't want these as the base jerseys? All right, here you go. 1st and 10 across midfield. You're moving. Empty set. 3 to the right. Looking right. Quick, easy one on first down. That's fine. That's fine. And that's Vele, sure-handed. You'll take it. I mean, Kansas City's playing nobody, guys. The Broncos have no excuses. And honestly, I'm upset that I'm not listening to the broadcast. Nance and Romo. Jim? Tony. I think everybody shamed Tony Romo into not predicting the plays. Everybody was like, oh, no, we don't want to know what's coming. That was what made him good. And then he got in his head, and now he's not what he used to be. Boy, 1-17 the last 18 games versus Kansas City. Not today. Little handoff up the middle. You'll take it. Estime. Oh, no, that's Williams. Sorry. Williams, nice little carry there. Across midfield. Gosh, you like it. The uniforms when they hit the sun. Oh. Where's Oren? Oren's coming. Not exactly sure. They need to be the main. Love the throwbacks. Everybody loves the throwbacks. And when you see them in person, are you kidding? They're so sharp in person. Keep running the fucking ball. Agreed. Kansas City's got nobody today. Make it easy on Bo today. Use that 3-headed monster in the backfield there. Williams, Estime, and McLaughlin. Keep them on their toes. Run the ball. Play action. Get your easy completions. Don't make it too hard. Oh, well, not like that. I don't love that. There's Mims. Oh, there's Mims getting loose. Go to the house. House call. We'll take it. We will take it. There you go. They started using Marvin more in ways that make sense, and he's still that gadget guy, but, man, you give him some space, and he's gone. Gonzo. 5th reception touchdown for Mims this year. Look at this. So you got pre-snap motion coming across the formation to the right. Now look at how much window dressing is on that play for just a little dump out to the flat. That isn't anything special. He's got a guy coming across the formation to the right. Meanwhile, I think it's Franklin who's going across the backfield. Let me look back at this here. Yeah, he's got a, who is that, Troutman? I can't see. Yeah, it looks like Troutman's pulling back to the left to get that end. And there's Franklin coming around on what looks to be like a a fake reverse, or at least motion him through the backfield. And there's Williams, who's a lead blocker on this play. Or no, there's Estime. So you see Estime gets out, blocks him, and then Miners lays the block. Oh, yeah. Well, if you get a DB on Quinn Miners, sorry. And then it's a great block by Estime to spring Mims loose. And there you go. Great first drive, Denver. Great first drive, Denver. Sorry, I was looking back at that. What just happened here? What's he saying? Oh, a flag on the extra point. Hey, you'll take that all day and every day and twice, especially on a Sunday when you got to make the playoffs. Look at Bo going over, squeezing Shawnee P's shoulders, getting the smile. Hey, those two got a good relationship, man. Those two got a great relationship, man. There you go, Broncos. Okay, 7-0 opening drive touchdown. You absolutely love that. We're going to the playoffs as you predicted at the beginning of the year. Hey, I'll tell you what, and this is a quick story. So you may or may not know I got fired from the Fan. I worked for the Fan for the last 3 years, and that happened end of September. So first preseason, I remember being on the air with Evans, and I told Evans, I said, after the first week of training camp, we're out there down at Dove Valley every day, and I told him, I was like, look, Mike, there's some encouraging signs for Bo here. Encouraging, but I don't want to get over my skis because it was just Broncos on Broncos. And so, you want to be tentative. And then the way he came out in the preseason with just a command of the offense that didn't look typical for a rookie, on top of the fact that I had Mark Schlereth in my ear, all fall and all spring, rather, all summer, to tell me how much Sean loves Bo. And, those two are like this, him and Sean. And, we'd be in the studio and he'd just be firing off texts with Sean. And I got some good backstory. And Sean's just, in love with Bo. And part of it is that he just doesn't take a ton of sacks. And you've seen that this year translate. And Mark kept saying, trust me. And what's funny is the origin of that kind of goes back to, I cover CU and I've traveled the last 2 years on the road. And so they're gifting us this one. Yeah, it's a Make-A-Wish. We're the Make-A-Wish squad. I don't, who are you? I'm sorry, Broncos country. Beggars can be choosers here. Are you kidding me right now? Are you serious? Beggars can't be choosers here. I mean, please. You take anything you can get. If they're gifting it, you say, thank you, sir, and move right on. You're 1-17, your last 18 against the Chiefs. There's no time to complain. Anyway, so Schlereth was just telling me about how Bo was going to be, such a great fit with Sean. And my first thought about that was when I was in Eugene watching the Ducks beat the shit out of CU last year. The one thing I thought to myself is, well, he wants somebody that's on time, on target, and is going to do what he says. Fucking Bo Nix is going to be that guy. And I could see it in the back of my mind. Like, eventually I could see him falling in love with this guy. Now, when we got towards the end of the season, I thought it was a little ridiculous to take the 6th quarterback off the board at 12. But, I mean, fuck, what do I know? It was, now, that being said, that was just the second time in NFL history that 6 quarterbacks were taken in the first round of the NFL draft. Obviously, the first time being 1983 with Elway and Marino. But look at what Sean has done to the league. This is a giant middle finger, guys, to the rest of the league. I'm going to take the 6th quarterback because he's there's Peyton. There's a sheriff. There's the sheriff. Looking fly, too. Was he got a scarf on? A little gel in the hair? God, the sheriff. The last time the Broncos were in the playoffs, they won the Super Bowl. It's so crazy. Anyway, so, yeah, I thought that Bo and Sean could be a good fit, but it certainly translated like that. All right, so here we go. Now what does Carson Wentz have? Carson Wentz gets the chance to play spoiler. Guys on the fringe of being in and out of the league. Oh, there's Jim and Tony. Guys on the fringe of being in and out of the league. Let's see. I mean, he's still got something left, though. He can still play a little bit. So I don't expect this to be some like 30-0 blowout, but maybe it turns into that. I mean, they're playing nobody important. They've got literally out of any team in the league, the Chiefs have the least to play for of anybody. Wentz here, 1st and 10. Is that Steele? They gave him Carson Steele for the love. They got a fullback playing running back, guys, today. If the Broncos lose this game, oh, wow. They dribbled the first snap. Jesus Christ. Oh, my goodness. That's how bad it's going to be. That's how bad of a day it's going to be with the Chiefs. Just dribbling the first snap. That's incredible. By the way, how about that weird and wild early window? just backup quarterbacks. Turned out to be one of the better early windows of the season, quite honestly. Yeah, if Denver loses today, I mean, it would be heresy. Steal up the middle. That's a nice run, though. Broncos going to have to shut that water off. You can't let him get going because look, he's an athlete. He may be a fullback, but he's an athlete. Third quarterback to start for a different team in 5 straight seasons. Wow. Talk about being a journeyman, just not sticking around. I wonder who the other 2 are. That's a great trivia question. Chat, I don't know if they talked about it on the broadcast, but who are the other 2? Third and 3. Motion and Juju across. He doesn't know what he wants to do. 3 seconds. 2 saw they're a mess. That's just a little drag concept. Oh, God, Carson. Well, folks, if it's going to be a day like that, we might have to break out the cigars early, okay? Let's wait till this thing gets to halftime, but for the love, that was an awful opening drive. I mean, just run the ball again there on 3rd and 3. What do you have to lose if you're Kansas City? You gained 7 yards in the first 2 plays. Interesting. What is going on, chat? Let me get over here to the chat. What is going on, guys? Yeah, we'll play with house money in Buffalo. Last time they were there, they won. Yeah, but what did the turnover battle? What did they win the turnover battle in that game? 5-1. Today, no liquor today. No liquor today. I'm going with the Diet Doctor today. Be honest with you, a little Diet Doctor in the afternoon. Just a little hair early for me. But the Broncos make the playoffs, snapping a streak in in 8 years. You may see me a little bit later start to sip. Not a huge drinker though, I gotta be honest with you. I was when I was younger, but I think it takes, I'm soft, man. It takes me so long to recover now. It's like almost never worth it. What a great betting window for real. It was a great betting window. It was. I hope you guys cashed cash. What do we have rolling here in the afternoon window? Hit me up. What do you got here? Any timers? What do you got? Parlays? I'm curious to see what people are on. Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. That sucks. Where are you from there, and then I imagine that's not US? Maybe it is. Or you just don't have cable. Yeah, so somebody says I literally predicted, who is this? Jonathan says I literally predicted 10-7 before the season. So we were all giving Schlereth a bunch of shit this offseason because Mark had 10 wins and we're all sitting there going, 10 wins? 10 wins, and fuck, he was dead on the money, man. He was dead on he has been the whole time. So Bo plays the first preseason game. They beat the shit out of the Colts. He looks great. And at 6 a.m., maybe one of the most epic rants that I'd ever heard. Mark gets on and just, for the first segment, this is how the segment went. Hey, Mark, how you doing? Yeah. Welcome to the show. It's Wednesday morning. Mark, how you doing today? Great, Matt. By the way, everybody can eat shit, and here's the list of them. And he went through and he just berated. I don't know. I'm sure some of you in the chat listened to that. That was an epic moment in Denver radio history. He just eviscerated the entire staff, and then we hit it again and again and again, and started a little beef. It was fun, but I also said that first morning after that first preseason game that Broncos country should be ecstatic, because the truth of the matter is, this is a guy you can believe in to a different degree than a Drew Lock, to a different degree than a Teddy Bridgewater or a Paxton Lynch, right? This is the most experienced quarterback in college football history, as opposed to one of the least experienced quarterbacks, right? As far as first round draft picks in Paxton. So I just think that there was a lot kind of pointing in Denver's favor, especially because Bo's such a coachable guy. Yeah, I know. What are we trying to do? Reinvent the wheel? You're absolutely right. You know what it is? It's all money. It's all money. All right, 1st and 10 here for Denver. I know I'm a little behind, sure, on the stream, probably from some of you guys on the live, but bear with us. McLaughlin. Hey, McLaughlin, Jaleel has taken another jump this year. That's not a bad play call. They're getting him moved across the formation a little bit, right? Doing things a little bit differently. Trying to throw. Oh, who the hell are these guys? Look at these. I'm looking at the bottom of the ticker here in the Chiefs starters. You haven't heard about one of these guys in your life. There's McLaughlin on the edge. All right. Well, if you're going to make the playoffs, you definitely don't want to get Jaleel hurt. I got to get red zone on here too. Because the Chargers are going balls to the wall today. Harbaugh's not going to fuck around today. Where am I at here? Oh, there we go. And the Arizona-San Francisco game is interesting. I was reading that Kyler's got some incentives of like 60 yards rushing or something like that and a touchdown. But against the San Francisco defense, it's tough to do. Although he did have like 80 yards in their first matchup this year, but he ran the ball a ton. We'll see if he has to do that again today. All right, Bo. 3rd and 4, nice conversion. That's why Lil Jordan Humphrey's on the team, guys. I know that he's had some struggles, but fuck. All last year, he stepped up when they needed him to. He's a great blocker on the edges, and he can make a big catch, and he's tough to bring down. This is just a nice play here. You got Javonte in pass protection. Now he bails out, and you just open up the middle of the field, and you just have a miss. But look at how much bigger he is than this DB. If you give him some separation, which he got off the break there, that's a first down every time. And look, they're rocking with Jaleel. And you know what they're doing? You know what they're doing to these 2s and 3s Kansas City's rolling out here? They are going tempo, 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 tempo. That's what they're doing. Oh, what happened? Oh, yeah, I heard that Baker really stepped up at the end of this. Oh, Mike Evans cashed look at them all. Look at them all fired up because he cashed his $3 million bonus. I love that. Look at them getting the cheers from the crowd. They must have been going nuts because all week. Look at the sideline going crazy. And they clinched the South to win the game. Did he hit the bonus and they won the South on that? That's fantastic. Boy, run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. You got to love this. You got to love this. Who's in the chat saying run the fucking ball? They're doing it. They are doing it here. And they're just, Bo's not having to do anything. These throws are layups. And it takes me back to what Sean Payton said before they drafted Nixon when he talked about what he wanted in a quarterback after Russell. He said, we want to take the guy off the high dive. And what he's saying there is, how many throws are you going to ask this guy to make every game, right? And when Russ came to Denver, he wanted to be the guy that had to make the big throws to win the games until he figured out that he wasn't that fucking guy and wasn't anything close to that. And so you had to surround him with a better team, which is why he had more success this year in Pittsburgh. But you see who he really is these last 4 games. 3rd and 2. Oh, broken play. Ah, shit. Oh, Bo, did he trip? What happened? Go for this, right? Where are they at? Go for this. Go for the fucking throat here, 4th and 1. Oh, against these guys? I mean, it's either a sneak. Oh, Jaleel's in the backfield. I don't love that. Timeout here. Give me a timeout here. I don't love that. I'd have Estime back here. Oh, no, Bo got it. Okay. Okay, I guess you go fast. Want to make sure you don't get those guys to sub too much. Did they even sub on that play? Maybe that was why. I didn't notice. Yeah, if you're ahead of us, I respect that. Just be mindful that you're a little ahead. Oh, what's up? Oh,
brother. What's up, Matt?
That was a great opening drive.
Hey, listen, I have been doing Sunday chores, but I come in, the Broncos are up 7-0.
I'll give you a little synopsis here.
Give me the synopsis.
I mean, you got a time of possession here, just dominating them right now. Chiefs aren't playing anybody. Here's Bo on a 1st and 10 for me. Oh, he's throwing a bomb ski. Hey, Cortland, half the way to the incentive, half the way to the 2 mil. Let's go. Hey.
Wait, how far behind you am I?
Where
are they at?
I'm
Tell
at
me where they're.
557. I'm at 557 in the first quarter.
557. Okay, I gotta catch all the way up. Hold on.
Yeah. Oh, that was a great play. What a ball by Bo. Cortland's halfway to the incentive on that one. Broncos into the red zone.
I'll tell you this right now. They came out in the right uniforms.
Oh, these are the best. Sure. Oh, we've been talking about that.
That is amazing. I love it.
Bo might have been a little impatient on that first down. If you just wait a half a second there at the line, Mahomes might have waited a half a second and then thrown that to Jaleel for a touchdown. Oren, we're on Denver time here.
Yeah. Who is that?
I know somebody in the chat. I caught that out of the corner of my eye.
That's fishing. I know who it is. It's usually if he's talking. Oh, okay, I just caught it. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'm catching up. All right.
We're on Sean looks good too on the sideline today. I like the fit today.
All right. Listen, if this goes the way that it's going now, this is going to be a whole celebratory. We can celebrate the entire Broncos. They should just put up prolific numbers, right?
Bo,
that was a great ball.
Back at the end zone. Got him.
There it is.
Got him.
Hold on.
We're going to the playoffs.
Going to the playoffs.
Go to the playoffs.
Going to the
Victory
playoffs.
Cigar early. Oh, they got to be fired up and empowered today.
Going to the playoffs.
What a ball this is. And a grab. That's a better catch than a ball.
I brought my Super Bowl cup.
Oh, I love that.
My Hall of Fame shit. Let's go.
See, that's that play action that works because they've been running the fucking football. And that is not a great ball. That is a good catch, is what that was. Not a great ball.
He has a couple.
Hey, give your guy a shot, but in the playoffs, that scares the shit out of me. There we go. 2 drives, 2 scores.
What more can you ask for?
I mean, you can't. Beautiful day in Denver. They look fucking great. Cortland's half the way to incentive. Yeah, absolutely, Jonathan.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man. So you
I got
doing some
Hennessy
Sunday
in there?
stores?
No,
Yeah,
there's no. It's coffee.
That's what I said. They were asking me what I'm sipping. I go, Diet Doctor. Today,
come on.
There's no, maybe after the Broncos make the playoffs.
Yeah, we're not getting liquored up on the
let's punch a ticket. Although, you know how the baseball teams celebrate when they make the playoffs? They basically tape the fucking locker room off and blast the champagne everywhere.
Absolutely.
That is what the Broncos ought to do, because this is as far as anybody could have ever expected them to possibly go this year. As somebody brought up earlier, everything moving forward is gravy and house money, right? Like, even if you go get fucking smacked in Buffalo, whatever, at least in my opinion, for year 1 in Bo Nix.
What's it been? 2015, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Last time?
Last time.
A damn near a decade. And not only are they going that, you've got your quarterback of the future for 100%. Sure. Like, he's got some squirrely balls. Pause. Mm-hmm. He's got some squirrely balls that he tosses, but when he
so
said
does Mahomes. Have you watched Mahomes this year? I'm like,
for sure.
You got to give you guys a chance sometimes. So I don't mind it all the time.
He said pressure is a privilege, and I was sold. When that as a line is just like, damn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
that's a bar. Yeah.
That's a bar.
Yeah.
And it shows where his head is at. I mean, they got a mature guy. He can make most of the throws. He's active with his feet. He seems like he's going to be a great leader in that locker room for years to come. Like, yeah, it's all gravy from here. It's all gravy from here.
100%. 100%. And I was telling the story about how, so Mark Schlereth was in my ear all summer long. Okay. This is going to be the best fit. And I'm sitting there going, he's the 6th quarterback off the board at number 12.
Right.
It's only ever happened one time before in NFL history. It was the Elway Marino draft in '83. Well,
right.
But I hearkened back to when I was in Eugene last year to see the Ducks beat the shit out of CU. In the back of my mind, I went, well, Sean wants a guy who can play on time, in the pocket, and is going to run his stuff. That's Bo Nix. I could totally see him falling in love with Bo. And then I didn't think too much of it, because let's see how the rest of the year plays out. And, you know, I know we'll see what happens with Russ. Can he revive Russ? We were still had to ask that question at that point, even though we knew what the answer was. Okay. So then that first preseason game where he looked so good, and even before that, you saw like the shift in how much better he got from week 1 to week 2 at training camp. Right. And then it was like, okay, it's tough to tell, and you don't want to get over your skis because Broncos are Broncos, right? Like how this team isn't, I don't expect this team to be any good. I didn't at all. My expectations of this team were, I mean, like, I think I had a ceiling of like 6 before
6 wins this year.
Yes, before training camp. I didn't believe in them at all. I mean, who are they? Right.
Well, and with a rookie quarterback, I mean, to your point, 6 wins is, I mean, that would have been a really good total for most squads.
Chicago just got the 5 and barely did it. So
exactly.
So the point is here is that, and I mean, if you look at Chicago, they went out and added all that talent around Caleb. The Broncos have a bunch of no-name guys.
Well, yeah.
It's not name brand talent. That's kind of my point. You know, that's PI.
PS2, you got Pat Surtain Jr. in that, and there's it. That's kind of was the list coming in this year.
100%, and that's him getting called for the DPI there. He's just draped all over Juju. He's not normally that. I mean, he's just all over him here. Are you there with me? Yeah, I don't know what he's.
No, I'm still a play behind you.
Okay,
Sometimes I just have to let it peter out and then it'll catch up.
No, you and I should get on the same page, or does it buffer for you?
It buffers. So that's why I'm giving
Okay.
it a second. I'll catch up. Trust
Okay.
me. I'll be there with you in
All right, good.
5 minutes max.
Okay, cool. All right. Yeah. Anyway, so you could see the improvement in training camp, and then I could see it after he had such control in that first preseason game. That's just like, hey man, that's not how an offense should look for the very first time you debut it, and it looked smooth. Carson, yeah, I mean, that's a timing throw with Justin Watson. Did the end zone just not have a background, or it was sky blue? I don't know what that was about. Buffer.
All right, now we should be.
Carson gets
neck and
popped here. Wentz just gets fucking drilled here, and he's hurt too. Grabbing the elbow, grabbing the back. Who was that got to him?
Of course he is.
Let's see who that is here.
Oh, he got drilled.
Oh, by his own guy. Franklin Myers shoved his own lineman into him. And he just fell awkwardly. Wentz again, 2nd and 10. Get him. Get his ass. Yeah, Benito. What the fuck? How did he get rid of that ball?
Benito.
I don't even know how he got that to Noah Gray. Anyway, you could just see how much better he was. And then Schlereth came on after the Monday after that Colts game in the preseason, and just for 10 minutes. Here's how the segment went. Okay. You be Schlereth. I'll be me.
All right.
Yeah. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. You know, a big Broncos win, over the Colts. Yeah, Mark, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. He's going to the Broncos
stop right there. And then for the next 10 minutes, he just went off on our entire staff. I mean, it was the most epic rant you've ever heard. Just shredded everybody for dogging him and saying that Bo wasn't going to be a good fit. And he was 6 quarterback at 12, and that Sean and him weren't going to work out. And it was just like I didn't say another word the rest of the segment. It was hysterical. He's the best.
I got a little stink. I tell you, I wasn't a believer. Quite honestly, I thought they might have lost out on their court. I thought their quarterback should have been is the guy who's down in New Orleans. And and it was a pretty, it's kind of a baseline thought of mine. It's like he made it to his 5th year in college. There was never really a shot for him to, you know what I mean? I just wasn't checking. I didn't think anybody was checking for Bo Nix like that. Oh, but you brought up that CU game, and they whooped ass, and he outplayed Shedeur in that game. And it is an interesting juxtaposition now, because I'm thinking about Shedeur going into this year's draft, and I'm just like, I don't think I've seen one game where, I mean, he's looked really good at times, but not the type of leader that we're seeing out of Bo Nix, not that type of focus, not that type of consistent drive. And so it's like, man, the Broncos got a steal then at 12, it feels like.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I would agree with that. I think
why?
Because I think Shedeur's a really good leader. It's just he does it
different.
He just does it differently. He does it way differently. Bo is like, I'll say this. I wish Shedeur had a little bit more of Bo in him from a leadership perspective. But I also think once he gets away from Dad, I think that might change a little.
That could change a lot.
I think he's going to have to play differently, and they're not going to be. He's not going to have total control of everything.
Right.
Which he'll have a lot, as he should, as any good quarterback should. But I'm totally sold on him. So I would disagree in a lot of ways on that one. But in that game, yeah. But it was also like systematically, they were just a way better team and just leaned all over them. But at the same time, what Bo has done this year and Sean has done this year together has basically just been a giant middle finger to the league. Like you said, this wasn't gonna work. Right. Everybody said this wasn't gonna work. Guess fucking what? How's playoff sounds?
I mean, and it's working great guns. Like you said, going to Buffalo, you're playing with house money. Is there a snowball's chance in hell that they walk out of there with a win? I'm just saying, because it's Buffalo. Like, it's got the makings of that Tim Tebow year when the Broncos beat Pittsburgh, wasn't it? And it just felt like there was just more with this team than X's and O's. It seemed like a team that was, kind of on a bit of a destiny run to sort of set things up. Now, we know how Tebow's career finished, and by no means was he going to be a franchise quarterback for this. But it really does feel like everything Bo does is now coming up kind of roses. And it's pretty fun to watch. It's actually really fun to watch. And I love that they're doing it in these uniforms. I know I said that coming out the gate, but it's just like, damn, man, that's kind of the icing on the cake, because it is kind of a throwback to times when we remember the Broncos getting a quarterback who you looked at and you were just like, that's the best quarterback in the league. Now, no one's going to say that about Bo Nix, but it's got these shades of, they've got their own John Elway. It's not the same when it was Peyton Manning. It's not the same when they were going through this, revolving door of other people's quarterbacks and unable to draft a guy and develop a guy on their own. They've got their guy, and he really is a guy. I think we're seeing it. It's not even, Jay Cutler was probably as close as this squad has ever gotten, that I can remember, to having a guy and feeling like, okay, he's got the talent. Seems like he's got the leadership qualities. Jay Cutler was far more of a wild card and very aloof and pretty much a bad attitude in his younger years.
Asshole, yeah.
Yeah, he was a complete asshole.
Yeah.
Fun to party with, actually.
Yeah. No,
fun to party with.
that I believe. Yeah.
But
I know a lot of assholes that are fun to party with.
Right. The job he wasn't cut out for it.
Yeah.
Bo Nix seems to do he does everything correctly. And that's awesome, bro. That is like, Bronco fan deserves to celebrate just for that.
And I said that Monday morning. I said, you have somebody, Broncos country, that you can believe in. You should be ecstatic. And somebody here in the chat said, hey, Matt, I remember that day Mark absolutely went off. He did. And to me, it was like, hey, this ain't no Paxton Lynch. This isn't Drew Lock. This isn't Teddy. This isn't one of these retreads. And, you look at Sean here on the sideline. They're showing on the broadcast with Bo, and the team. Somebody brings it up here in the chat here. They're a much closer team this year. They are. The vibes around that team, because everybody knew what was going on between Sean and Russ last year, were absolute bullshit. They were horrible.
Well, look what he's doing it with too. When you say that he doesn't have any weapons,
McLaughlin. Okay.
But Vele, I really actually like Vele.
Ooh. LJ hurt. Little Jordan.
I'm not a fan. I'm like,
he made a big play on third down a little bit earlier, and he's made some good plays in the blocking game. I like Lil Jordan, actually.
It's
those cleats are sick too. Did you see his cleats?
No,
holy shit. Those cleats are Broncos colors too. They're like Air Maxes. Those are sick.
Fire.
Are they not? Those are sick.
Fire.
Yeah.
This is like throwback shit is the best.
It's the best.
Broncos throwback shit is the best. That color scheme, that particular blue too. To me, it just makes that blueberry blue look all the more ridiculous.
Hey,
they need to go with this.
Hey, Ray, we're not saying he was right about everything, okay, dog? He just happened to be spot on about this one. Okay. He says he wanted Simeon locked up long term. We remember, and I'm not trying to give him too much credit, but you got to give credit where credit is due, especially because he was against consensus there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he was completely against consensus in saying that he thought they were going to get to 10 wins. That was his feeling. And we are like, fuck off. 10 wins.
You're out of your mind.
You're out of your mind.
And now?
That's what I said. Yeah, somebody says they just can't beat themselves. Absolutely. I agree. In Buffalo.
The one good thing is that they do have a playoff defense. I still think that what we saw over the course of the last 3-4 games was the aberration. It was the exception, not the rule. Yeah. I don't know if you really say that, losing Riley was what was, their undoing, but I just feel like they know how to turn the ball over. Where are they at in sacks? Aren't they do they lead the NFL defensively in sacks? Like, or they're up there toward the top?
Yeah, they're toward the top.
They turn guys over. They get pressure up front. They've got a definite future Hall of Famer, I think, on one corner. Like, they're an active defense. And so you always have a chance. To me, you always have a chance when you come in with a defense like that, as long as you're able to minimize the mistakes of your rookie quarterback. And let's be honest, Josh Allen in the playoffs, he's prone to make it to play like a rookie.
Yeah, we'll see. It's as far as like skill talent, it's the worst Buffalo's ever had, but Josh is playing the best he ever has.
For sure.
It's a very interesting dynamic, which is why he may win the MVP. Although, honestly, with the late season push, I'd have to vote for Lamar again. I mean, nobody's ever thrown for 4,000 and rushed for 800 in a single season. You gotta tip your cap and give credit where. Although I don't believe in the Ravens as far as I can throw them. I don't think they can get it done. They're bound for a playoff egg at some point.
I could see them losing in the Super Bowl if Detroit makes it. I could see them losing to Detroit.
I can see them losing in the first round.
Yeah, wow.
No problem. I mean, who are they going to play in the first round? But maybe not because it's Pittsburgh. But I think Pittsburgh could give them problems.
Well, I mean, yesterday.
What's Lamar's record against Pittsburgh lately? It's been awful too.
Let me look it up.
I got you.
All right.
I think he's.
I
think he beat them earlier this year. Or was that? Yeah, he beat them earlier this year, and that was like one win, I want to say, in their last 8. Yeah, he's thrown 8 touchdowns and 9 picks against Mike Tomlin in his career. Yeah.
It's that playoff. I mean, he's definitely one of those. But I would say the same thing about him that I would say until he proves it. I'd say the same thing about Josh Allen. There are those. It's like the George Karl effect. There are those guys who just shine in the regular season, and then for whatever reason, name the guy, James Harden, for whatever reason, when it comes to the postseason, I know I'm picking on a lot of basketball players. When it comes to the postseason, they just don't show like that. You know what I mean? And
right.
And until they prove it, to me, you're always a target for upset. You know what I mean? And I do think I haven't watched a lot of Buffalo games this year. I've just watched them rack up. I've watched Josh rack up numbers, and they're getting wins. But I'm not a believer yet. I think Lamar's got a better chance of making it to the AFC Championship game because I think they play in the toughest conference in football. But other than that, I agree with you. I could see Lamar laying an egg like he's done for the past 4 years. So,
yeah, there you go, Bo. See, that's the other part of this is that the mobility in today's league, that's the only thing that I think is just concerns me just a little bit about Shedeur. Is Bo can get out of some of those sacks that Shedeur's not going to be able to get out of. He
doesn't have that get up and go, Matt. There's just something about his running style. He lumbers. He's not that fleet of foot, and then he holds his decision-making ability is why I don't trust it.
He needs if he had a Sean Payton, it would do wonders. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be, I think coach is important. That's why with Tennessee getting number 1 overall, I think, although somebody just put out there, I can't even remember who it was, that they might like Cam, which fine with me, but all of Cam's success to me, and I watched him in person last year at Washington State. I've seen him basically his whole career outside of Incarnate Word. But with Cam, he's a big dude, but a lot of his success came with outside the structure and with a lot of time in the pocket. And that, you don't get that in the NFL. And Shedeur has learned how to produce while being under heavy fire, which is why I don't worry about him, but he will get sacked. Like, I think he could end up looking like Caleb Williams did at times, where it's like, it's like, there's like, oh, Jesus. It's like, there's some of those moments, but they'll work with him. Cause let's think about it. His weaknesses, footwork at times, but also he's been running for his life. He got sacked almost 100 times the last 2 seasons. Most sacked quarterback ever in CU history in 2 years. Okay. Trusting your protection is hard to do. That's just
okay. But let me ask you a question then. Wouldn't you think that a guy who is touted with such a high IQ be more prone to his pre-snap read, throw the ball away, get the ball out quick? That to me was what was so problematic about it. I'm like, bro, you act like you got a line that you don't have, and you're not the scrambler that these other guys are. He's just not. So that's
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why that is because he was enabled for his to play that way, and there wasn't like real coaching and in the NFL he won't be allowed to do that.
Do you think Pat Shurmur was allowed? Okay, allowed. Do you think he was allowed to actually push Shedeur on?
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah. But it was a democracy.
Okay. Yeah. You can't have that.
Yeah. That's kind of what I'm saying is like,
what are we talking about?
Is Travis and Shedeur are basically OC. Okay. And I've never seen 2 college players have more control over an offense.
Okay.
But you have to credit them because they're both brilliant. Like, their football IQ is as high for college football players as I've ever personally been around. Watching Shedeur like go through defenses is insane. In that BYU game, they threw 17 different looks at him in the first half and only repeated 3 of them one time. Is what Gary Anderson said. Like, you don't do that in college, okay?
Right.
You only do that if you have a month off. That's how much respect they have for him. He is really football brilliant. I mean, brilliant, capital B, seriously. But it's just all about he needs some coaching to help push him in the right direction. And in the NFL, he knows he's going to have to do more 11 and 12 personnel with tight ends on the field, run the fucking ball. Like, you're not going to be able to get away with sitting, in 5 wide all the time. You'll get killed. That's not how the league works.
And I do trust, the one thing I do trust is I feel like he is desirous to get out from underneath Pops in order to maybe get that structure. I hope is what he wants, is structure. I hope what he's dying for is something different than what he's had up until this point, because he's kind of had the keys. You know what I mean? He's had the keys to the castle, and it's like Pops trusts him enough. And you got to love their relationship as father, son, coach, player. But I don't think it helped him a lot. I hope you're right, though. I want him to do better than I feel like he's going to be, because the pressure wherever he ends up. Well, but you said Carolina's got the #1 pick right now?
Tennessee,
sorry. Okay. That might be a much better place for him to land than goddamn New York, and definitely better than Vegas.
I agree completely. I hope they pick him, because they got an ownership. First of all, the Titans spent the most in free agency of any team in the NFL last year. Okay. They spent a ton of money. They're willing to spend. They got a new stadium that they're building, and it's going to be great. We got off on a tangent. I want to get back to the Broncos.
Yeah, let's get back to the game. Let's get back to
21 plays to 6 plays. They're just laying the lumber to Kansas City right now. They're getting everything they want.
Everything they want.
Everything. And you know what? It's just the control. It's just the control. They're not playing anybody. It should fucking look like this.
For sure.
It should look like this. So I'm glad it is.
And this is a great tune-up for the playoffs. It's a great tune-up game for the playoffs. So, be firing. You want to be what? Playing your best. I don't give a damn who you're doing again. You want to be playing your best when you get into the postseason. And a game like this has everybody feeling good when it's over.
100%. 100%. They've been doing. This has been a great performance so far. And somebody said, Mel.
Sean looks like he's having fun.
They're all having a great time.
Looks like he's having
they're having a great time. Mel said that the Chiefs want the Broncos in the playoffs. Explain, Mel. Why would the Chiefs want the Broncos in the playoffs? So that if they beat Buffalo, then they would go to KC. Is that the working theory there? I guess I haven't put too much thought into it. I was just more like, let's fucking get there first, and then we can figure out who wants who where.
Yeah, I mean, the Chiefs haven't. It's been a luck and a prayer. It's been a hope and a prayer all season for them, and I think it's a bit of fool's gold. But obviously, Pat Mahomes is he's king of the castle right now. And I think when it comes to flipping the switch, they definitely have earned the right to say, if anybody's going to flip the switch, it's going to be Kansas City. But I think they're there to be. I think the AFC is actually wide open.
I'll tell you what, I'm of the opinion they're three-peating. I think they just got it. That's just my opinion. Okay. Just my personal opinion. But more than anything, they're getting healthy, and they added Hopkins, which made a huge difference to their offense, just having another threat out onto the field. And then they got Hollywood Brown back, and that changes things for them, because you've got Hunt and Pacheco. And I think Pacheco's dinged up at least. He might be for week 1, but it depends, because I don't know, man. I hear you. They have not looked good this year.
That's the worst 15-1 team I think, literally,
I've ever seen. Luckiest
for sure. Sure.
Can you imagine what it would be like to be the core of that team 3 years deep into this? Those dudes got to be gassed,
right?
To get through the regular season has to be a mother. You know what I mean? And so I bet you they'll be fine. It's Mahomes. I mean, I bet you they'll be fine once the playoffs get rolling. Don't you think?
I want to say yes, but I'll say this, is that where did Pat finish amongst quarterbacks ranking? To me,
yeah, he didn't have a good year.
He didn't have a good year
by his standards.
And how he goes is how Andy Reid's play calling goes. And when Andy Reid is, I think he's as much a part of what, them clicking on all cylinders as anybody. And I just think that the AFC, this reminds me of the year that Ben Roethlisberger,
fuck yeah, Javonte,
and Pittsburgh took that run and made it all the way to the bowl. It just reminds me of that year for whatever reason. And it's and the Broncos kind of feels like that Pittsburgh team to me. Formidable offense, young quarterback, active with his feet, wow.
Did you see that first ref? Did that first ref want to spot it short, and the second guy came in and was like, what the hell are you talking about?
What are you doing?
Did you see that at first? Because the first ref stopped 3 yards short. But he wasn't out at all. That was a hell of a that's vintage Javonte right there.
Yeah, what was that?
It's
clear that he was. Look how short of the line.
What do you have to lose? I would challenge that. You absolutely have to challenge that, right?
For sure. Takes the hit, 1 foot in. Oh yeah, that's the spot is so terrible that it's like, what were you looking at?
That's why I had that confused look on my face at first, because the first ref came in and he's like a mile behind
Yeah, he's
where
like
he went out of
3
bounds.
yards short of the line to gain, and it's like, what?
On first live, I thought he got it, no problem. That's why I said, fuck yeah.
Even in
Javonte.
replay.
Yeah. Is he going to challenge this? Or are they going to go for this? Why would you not challenge that? Because you'll just pick it up and you're across midfield. And you
I don't know why you
that?
wouldn't challenge it as apparent as it is that he made the line to gain. I don't know why
I would absolutely
wouldn't.
challenge that. I'm pretty surprised he didn't. Nobody radioed in upstairs. Maybe upstairs they saw it differently.
What did they see differently than what we're looking at?
I don't know.
I don't get it.
That didn't make any sense to me. Yeah, there you go. Timeout? Yeah, timeout. To take a look at it? That's bizarre. I mean, what do you have to lose in this game?
Nothing.
Unless you just are barring against some fucking disaster taking place. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
you can't
turn the ball over. I agree with you.
You can't think like that. It's, like this is it.
What are they saying? Were you listening to it?
Yeah, I had to. I'm flipping back between now. I got my stream like I'm right with you. Wow, they're going. I don't get it.
Chat, help us out. That was replay assist, so they can't challenge it.
Huh.
That was bizarre. I mean, he took the timeout, I would think, to look at it more, or to at least give them a chance to look at it more.
Right.
Oh, was that spot helped by replay assist? Is that what you're saying, chat? Maybe that's it. Because that would make sense. Although, I don't know. Wow. Okay, here we go. You just gonna sneak it again? They snuck it in the last one. Yep. He got it. All right. Well,
no harm, no foul.
For nothing.
Yeah. No harm, no foul.
Hey, and that's a big one because now you go in to put the game away here.
Oh, up 3 scores.
Yeah.
They're ready to go. Obviously, they're ready to pack it up and get back to KC and get ready for some rest and relaxation before they, have to prepare for whoever they're going to play in the second round. And it's like, you wanted this to play out like a preseason game. Get 100%. Bo and them some good work. Second half, go to the backups. Like if you can keep it, nobody get hurt. I mean, Lil Jordan, is he out?
Wow, so they did replay it by replay assist. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it, chat. So that's what happened. You can't challenge it because they already replayed it. That was a quick replay assist. Nice first down pickup, Javonte. What were you asking me, Oren?
I almost forgot. Oh, you sit your guys, right, in the second half? It's like, is Lil Jordan hurt? Like, you don't want anybody getting hurt going into your playoff run. Like, you're in the game now. You're in the dance.
I think you probably play him third quarter at least. Okay. You got to be up by 4 scores, in my opinion, for Sean to get him out of there. He might even just let him run the football out. Although with your starting offensive line, that's where I start to go, maybe you want to give those guys a seat. And if you're going to do that, look at Bo. Fucking spotless. 14 of 14, $169 and 2.
Crazy numbers.
Yeah. Spotless. It's because they're running the football and he doesn't have to do too much. They're all layups. You know what I mean? That's outside of the 2 to Cortland, really, they've all been easy throws.
That's been the key for Sean Payton, to find a confidence in his running game, whether you see it or not, to just keep going to it. Because you got to help the young guy out. And this is, I mean, all this is the best meal that they could have. This is going according to plan, like swimmingly.
Oh, Mel says the Chiefs just want to ensure that Joe Burrow's not going to play. I got you. I got the working theory. I got it. But hey, honestly, and to harken back to what you said, Oren, honestly, Chiefs got to be worried about everybody the way they played this year. I think eventually they'll turn it on.
And I mean, to your point, this is 4 seasons playing deep in the playoffs. These guys are gassed, and it's like they are right.
It's more than that. It's 6 seasons.
6 seasons.
It's 6 because what they've been to
how many
5 of the last 6 Super Bowls,
wow,
right?
That's crazy.
Because if they don't blow that lead at home to the Bengals, then it would have been 6 straight, right?
I mean, I know that it's not a quiet dynasty, but it is kind of the quietest dynasty of recent. Like, I don't know why it
Just
didn't
coming off of
register
the
to me.
well, because we came off of the Brady and we're probably desensitized to it a little bit. You know what I
Sure.
mean? We went right into it. But I mean, what they're doing is fucking unreal.
It is unreal.
It's unreal.
They're
It's
ripe for the
unreal.
taking this year, though.
I agree.
And
I agree. They're gettable.
and if anybody's gonna dethrone them, don't let it get to the Super Bowl to have it happen. Have it happen within conference. And the Broncos I think they have as a puncher chance. The AFC is wide open this year.
Efficient says hit the over and then sit, guys. I see. I'm picking up what you're putting down. 100%. Tony says no, don't let off the brakes. Okay. Jason, love the play calling. Play calling's been good today, guys. Play calling's been really nice today. Well, because everybody was bagging on Sean last week, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
Last week they started out the right way, and then for whatever reason, the second half they were just like, run the ball. Why? What for?
Okay.
It's like, I don't know. Balance.
I don't like that play call. 3rd and 1. That's an unnecessary hit Bo has to take on the sneak there. Let's limit those heading into the playoffs. I didn't like that one.
Yeah. You're not playing. Yeah, sure, you're playing with house money, but now you're in the dance. Like,
did Audric Estime? Did something happen to him? Like it's 3rd and 1. Give him the fucking ball. I just don't understand the sneak there. You're gonna get him hurt.
He's got the weirdest sneak motion too. He's like,
he does. He's like he dives down.
Like
it's
going
not like
to a knee.
Dive forward. Honestly, that feels like some Sean shit. Just like get down. Just get down.
Right.
Yeah, don't dive. Don't
take any no unnecessary risk. Well, you're putting me at unnecessary.
Even though wasn't it Breeze who was always Mr. You know what I mean? Didn't Breeze always do that shit?
Throw the ball out there.
Yeah. Red zone since week 4, 20 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. I wanted to say something that might be just even a little bit over the top for for this platform about Russ, but that's a significant improvement over Russ. Let me just tell you that much. Remember how fucking bad that red zone offense was the last 2 years? There you go. Oh, Javonte looking good today. Running with some balls today. Hey, should we get a scoreboard?
I mean, because they haven't been able to decide on a guy. I think he needs a game like this. I think he needs a game like this because I don't know. I like Audric Estime. Out of all their backs, I like Audric Estime the most, but for whatever reason, he hasn't cemented himself in a wide open position to take. So, and Javonte's been that guy. So it's like,
I'm with you. I'm just looking up.
No, I got you. I got you. I don't want to touch so I'm like a half a play behind you.
Good. I got you. Don't worry. There we go. Bonte. Just what the fuck? How the fuck?
Okay. I feel like D-Mac right now.
What the hell was that? That was unbelievable.
It's destiny, says that guy.
What the fuck was that? Devon Vele, what concentration? Where are you? Are you on 1st and goal yet?
Yeah. Come here.
What the hell? 1, 2, 3, 4. What a grab.
That's good. That's 6.
Is good.
That's a 10. I like Devon Vele a lot. I think they have a quiet, really good group of receivers because of how Marvin Mims plays like their young Deebo Samuels. And, Cortland Sutton, he's earning his check. It's when Vele's, wow, look at that. 1, 2, tip drill. Oh, my God, what control. That was amazing.
That was ridiculous.
That was amazing.
So at training camp this year, the most incredible moment came from Devon Vele. He made this one-handed grab in the corner of the end zone right by the media. It was like he had a guy draped all over his left side and with his right arm just like fully extended, total top of his jaw. It was unbelievable. And we were just like all jaw dropped. I remember Coach Sanford and I were next to each other and just grabbed each other like, oh my God.
Doesn't he kind of show up on film like one of those guys who in 3 seasons you're like, holy shit, that was a steal?
Oh, I think he shows up on film in year 1 like that. Does he not?
Yeah. I mean, I just feel like I remember when the Broncos had Rod Smith and it was like, he can't hold on, hands of stone. He's like, and then damn near a Hall of Fame career, at least a Ring of Fame career later, you're just kind of like, wow, no one really saw that coming. And it's like, I like Devon a lot. I like him a lot. I mean, and again with Cortland, I think it's just kind of your unsung sort of workman-like hero. He doesn't look special on all of them, but he does show up. He drops a lot of balls that he shouldn't, but he does show up when you need him. And I really like Marvin. Like Marvin is, you just got to get the ball in his hands however best you can. That's a really good trio.
Hey, I got to say something to our guy Mel here. Mel, it is not meaningless to the Denver Broncos. I get what you're saying, dog. It doesn't have any bearing on the future. You realize that they're trying to snap an 8-year playoff drought. I could give a fuck who they're playing. Like, what are you talking about? Like, come on, Mel. We're not playing that today.
We're not doing that,
Mel. We're not doing that today.
Do better, Mel. Be better.
Be better,
Mel.
Be better. Have a little joy in your heart.
Come on, Mel.
Moment. Come on, dog.
Oh, Rod Smith should absolutely be in the Hall of Fame. I thought so. I mean, I don't know if the numbers, I'd have to look. I don't know if the numbers, but no one saw the career that Rod Smith ended up having coming out of Rod Smith. No one can tell you that.
There's zero drama here. We're not looking for fucking drama. We're looking for a little enjoy. Like, what are we talking about?
Nobody wants the drama, Mel.
For an ounce of drama, honestly.
You've had enough drama all season. This is the time to celebrate.
This is the celebration.
Kick your feet up, Mel.
Yeah. Hey,
be better,
Mel. Okay, the drama comes when the Avs play again. Okay, the drama comes when they blow a game in overtime, like they did in the shootout last night.
Rod Smith is not a Hall of Famer.
17-17.
Ward. Who's what? John, what?
Bo is having
for their franchise, but not Hall of Famers. Okay. Oh, like Hines Ward. You're not saying Hines Ward was a Hall of Famer. You're saying like Hines Ward. Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Bo is having a day.
Stud day.
He's just shredding them apart. Did you see Trey Lance earlier? For fuck's sakes. How San Francisco got out of that.
I haven't seen any football. I've been doing chores all day. I haven't got a chance to sit and watch anything. This is the first.
Did they come back and win that? I didn't even see the end of that game, but they were it was close at the end, if memory serves. Yeah, Washington won 23-19 because Mariota drove down the field. But there were a couple throws that Lance missed that you just had you going, how was this ever a thought? And how was it ever a thought to move up and sacrifice the value that John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan did to go get him? And how they got Purdy and got out of that? There's no reason that John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan should still be in San Francisco. They got as lucky gets.
With Brock Purdy?
Oh, how Trey Lance is a GM killer. Like, I mean, they traded 3 first-round picks to go get him? That might be the worst trade in NFL. We talk about Russell Wilson being the worst trade, or maybe fucking Herschel Walker. Isn't that the other one?
Herschel Walker was the one, yeah.
Yeah. That might be the worst in NFL. 3 first-round picks for Trey Lance. And they got out of it and made it to a Super Bowl and an NFC Championship game. It's fucking crazy.
With the Purdy boy.
He's
Purdy.
You don't pay him and reset the market, do you?
I do, only because I think it's such slim pickings on the road to having a franchise quarterback that, yeah.
Hey, was that a Rodgers touchdown to Devontae? I didn't see that one. I needed that. No. I'm talking to the chat. I'm talking to the chat. He says, I have all 4 games. Rodgers just hit his 500th touchdown pass. 2 things. Jimmy cracked corn, and I don't give a fuck about it.
And I don't give a good goddamn.
Number 1. Number 2, I actually kind of do, because I needed him to throw 1 to Devontae today for my slip. So we're good on that.
Everybody got their parlays going.
Oh, wow. Well, that was, I mean, look what I found. Look what I found there. What a throw by Wentz. Had no idea where he wanted. Was that even to his target?
Carson.
He's looked awful. I mean, they're playing nobody, so you can't really judge them, but
it's not a lot to take from it. And I like, the worse that they look, the better the Broncos look, the better they feel.
There is no way that ball was to Justin Watson, not Renhio. There's no way.
How the mighty have fallen, man. Carson Wentz is an also-ran in the league. Like, that's crazy to me.
Kansas City shouldn't even come to Denver. I mean, honest to God.
Yeah, why show up?
Why show up if you're going to show up like this? Why play anybody? I mean, Noah Gray, that's a guy who makes a bunch of plays for them. You don't want to get him hurt.
I'll be honest with you too. I don't think it was the best move that they should have made for Bronco country. Thank God, but I think for them, they needed more tinkering. I don't know. I think
Conklin.
2 weeks off will get you healthy, but I don't know if it gets you. I don't know if it gets you cohesive.
Is Adams even playing in that game? Probably not. I thought he was going to play. Oh, wow. Gerard Mayo got the boot.
I need to pipe up some other games.
So Gerard Mayo in New England got the boot. He just got canned, Oren.
Shit canned? Well,
Yeah.
I mean, was Gerard Mayo the problem in Kansas? I mean, in New England?
No, but I think and it probably isn't fair, truthfully. But I
not at all.
No, but I thought it was I thought it was a mistake
Excellent.
to go the Belichick tree after that. They should have completely reset. Like, it's nothing against him, and I know why Kraft did it, but when has it ever worked when it hasn't been Bill?
And so I was going to say,
never.
Somebody pointed out to me that the Belichick tree is not. I mean, the apples, all that come from
They're
that
all
tree
rotten.
are rotten to the core. And I was like, oh yeah, I guess he's not Bill Walsh. It's just him and a bunch of other guys who were able to function underneath him, but not on their own. Every single one of them has sucked.
Hey, that completion there to Watson, Riley Moss is just all over him like a fly trap. This guy, that's the one thing I saw in camp about Riley Moss. He just always competes for the football. He will never give up on the play.
When you have to work hard to, get it, it shows up. And I know we make a lot of fun, like the great white corner, but
yeah,
he does play all out. And I could see where that was a very, I don't know who sits behind him. What's their depth chart?
Oh, that would
behind
be
right after they cut Wallace. I don't know who sits behind him, but
McMillan
it really did affect Vance Joseph's ability to call because he needed both of their corners to be locked up like they are.
It did allow Abrams' drain to flash a little bit. He had a couple of good moments.
And he did that pick that he had in the end zone. What game was that?
Vrabel. Guys, why would they instantly go back to that? I mean, you're right. You're probably not wrong. Everybody says Vrabel. Why would they go back to that there?
I think you got to go new blood.
I agree. Why is VJ letting off the pressure? Is he that much? They definitely need a stop here to shut him out. But I mean, if you holding them to 3 here is fine. You're still up 3 scores. It's no big deal. Look at Carson. I mean, this has been the first drive they've been able to move the football at all day. Now,
dinks and dunks, everything in front of them except for that one crazy ass pass.
Yeah, that's a good point. They shouldn't even still be driving. That was just a stroke of pure luck.
Blind squirrel found the nut.
It's interesting. I wonder if that had to do with how long he held Drake May out. Because it certainly didn't look like he shouldn't have started the season. I wonder if that had anything to do with it.
They didn't have a Broncos situation. There was no reason to throw Drake. I think like rookie starting quarterbacks, it's the worst thing you can do with, especially a guy who's supposed to be the guy. It just, you're setting them up for the type of baggage that comes with what will definitely be losses and probably hard losses because they're in a state of change. And so it's just like, you don't want your rookie quarterback to come in like, I don't know. I just think that putting Gerard Mayo in that situation and not giving him enough rope, you know what I mean? To sort of hang yourself. No, we're not. What did you expect? You were going to make the playoffs or the Super Bowl? It's like, no. Rookie quarterback, complete changeover, give it time. But, that is the NFL. Some guys are going to get a long leash and other guys, you're going to get jacked.
New England should get Ben Johnson from Detroit, says Jonathan. Yeah, we'll take him in Chicago. So you're good on that. You're good on that. I would love to see Ben Johnson in Chicago. The OC in Detroit. Would love that.
The Bears got their win over the Packers. I'm just watching the ticker.
In Lambeau. Where's Rodgers now?
Oh man. And they I'm a Packers supporter, so that.
Oh, are you? I didn't realize that. Okay,
yeah, brother. 1987.
It didn't mean a thing for you. You're all right.
No, I know.
Although, actually, Well, the Commanders had the tiebreaker, so I don't think it mattered either way because Washington ended up winning. But if they had lost and Green Bay beat Chicago, then I believe that they would have gotten the 6th seed, which avoids a trip to meet the Vikings or the Lions.
Yeah, I think everybody playing that's not named the Vikings or the Lions is playing for second place.
Well, that's a hell of a game tonight. I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
That is like one of the most anticipated Sunday night football games I've had in maybe all season.
Let me ask you a question. If this game ends the way that it's going, Washington's done. Has Bone done enough for Rookie of the Year?
No.
Is he the better of the two quarterbacks that would be up for it?
He's just not the more popular.
I know.
And that'll be his problem. And honestly, I don't care. The playoffs, I think, is more important. People know football people understand what he's been able to do in year one. And so maybe for Broncos country, you'd like to see that. And he'll be nominated. He's a finalist. I mean, I don't know how he couldn't be. So that was, to be honest with you, oh, yeah, baby. Nice chase down by Jonathan Cooper. Carson is just getting absolutely ragdolled today.
Yeah. and I love it. I don't know why I love it.
It's great. Oh, Jonathan Cooper just made that right tackle look terrible. Just beat his ass. How about Carolina, too? Bryce Young showing a little life at the end of the season, his first season with Dave Canales. He looked better than he did last year.
I'm very hopeful for him, but, I'm very hopeful that Bryce, because he hasn't looked anything like the Bama years. Obviously, he just ended up in the wrong situation. But I
think he might be in the right one now. I think he might be in the right one because Canales did a hell of a job with Baker last year. And by the end of this season, they went from they might pick a quarterback again because of how bad things were to hold on. We
might have something here. Yeah.
I mean, that's job well done, if you ask me. Wow, Juwan Jennings, did he just get thrown out of the game in San Francisco? No. Something just happened. Juwan Jennings, the 49ers receiver, just got up on the top of the bench and just started doing this to the crowd. Like the entire side of that stadium stood up. That was crazy. They're in Arizona, too. A lot of Niners fans down there. 3rd and 13 here.
California transplants everywhere.
All right, don't give up a touchdown here. Oh, God, that's a false start. That was a false start and a half. Right tackle, yeah, okay. I mean, how do you not blow in that play dead instantly? The right tackle jumped like a foot and a half. Yeah. I mean, oh, my God. We got an Antonio Brown or no? I think Juwan Jennings just got ejected. We got something happening in this 49er game.
Let me turn that one on.
Juwan Jennings just got ejected, took off his shoulder pad, got up to the crowd, gave him one of these, then took off his whole shoulder pads and is now making his way to the bench or making his way to the locker room, I think. All right, here you go, Broncos. 3rd and 18 now. You sack him out of field goal range here?
Sack him right out of field goal range.
Wentz in the gun. Pressure. Franklin Myers. Oh, yeah. Oh, God. How'd he get out of both of those? Finally got him. Finally got his ass. Benito.
Way to go, Nito.
That's my guy.
I love that. How about after his rookie year? I thought he was headed for no career. After his rookie year, he turned it all the way around. Unbelievable, man.
I'm telling you, man, this Broncos defense is.
Benito might have been the best story of all of last season.
What do you think? Like, do you think they're set in their needs? Like, what could you see being added to this defense? Like, where do you see a hole?
Butker, wide left. You know, they say that every time Harrison Butker misses wide left, a woman gets a degree. That's Butker, baby. Hooked it. How about a shutout in the first half, Broncos country?
Pitch it.
I absolutely love it. And the Dolphins are losing, by the way. Because if the Broncos lose, then if the Dolphins win, they're in, right? Because they've got the tiebreaker with Cincinnati. I'm pretty sure that's how that works. Help me out on that one, Chad. What? That's wide. I love it. Everyone was so scared of Wentz being a Darnold copy all week. Was that what the topics? But I don't know. Maybe that's what people were talking about on the radio this week. I imagine that's what he means. I haven't been listening to anything since I got fired, so I couldn't tell you. Mahomes looks exactly like Darlene from Roseanne.
He
Come on,
does,
guys.
though. You can't get that out of your head. Once you hear it, you can't get it out of your head. And once you see the side by side, it's like, damn.
Oh my God. Love hurt his elbow today. Yeah, that's true. Love did hurt his elbow today.
Jordan.
Yeah.
We're still yeah, I'll tell you this. I have a lot more faith that Caleb is going to be everything that they hope that you'll have in Chicago than Jordan will be the second coming of Aaron. Between the injuries and the decision making at times, I just look at Jordan Love and I'm like, it'll be fun for some time, but we're never going to really be a contender as long as I don't think he's the guy.
Who?
I don't see it.
Who are you talking about?
Jordan Love.
I don't know, man. He can ball. I mean, what they did to Dallas last year in the playoffs was one of my favorite things I've ever seen in my life. That was amazing. You want to know that story? You remember that, the wild card round?
I do.
So I'm doing the morning show because I did the Sunday morning shows, and we did our preview that day. And I remember, you got to, or maybe maybe that was just a Monday and I was a holiday show. Either way, I got up super early. So by the time I got back to the house, at a certain point, I got exhausted and I ended up passing out with my computer in my lap, watching the game on my couch. And as I woke up, I kind of like looked down and it's 28-0. And I just as hysterical laughing because I can't stand the Cowboys. Can't stand the Cowboys. Ugh. And so I literally went back and rewatched the entire first half. I didn't even care about what happened after that. I went back because I was like, I gotta see this, and it was amazing. Anytime,
as long as Dallas is doing terrible, it's great.
There you go, Bo. There you go, Bo. There you go, Bo. There you go, Bo. On your horse. The pitch ski. Javante. Oh, Bo with a little creativity. Oh,
basically running the option.
Hey. How about the balls on Bo Nix to pitch that shit?
I'm telling you right now, like, he's got scoots too. When he gets out of the pocket, he's got scoots.
What a play. Somebody says, what was it? Jesus, didn't you say we're going to run the ball to run out the clock? Yeah, Bo said, fuck that.
Fuck that.
Look at that. The pitch. If that's Jaleel, that's 6. Oh, Javante fell. Javante would have shoved him 6 feet under the ground. That might have been the best play in Broncos history. Sorry, we'll forget the Elway, the helicopter. That was incredible. Is that vindication Broncos country for what Randy Moss and Mo Williams did, or no?
Right. Wow.
That's a throwback, isn't it? You remember that?
I do remember that.
That was awesome. At that point in time, I was a Vikings fan because growing up in Chicago, the Bears were so goddamn bad. But all that was on TV.
You cannot tell me that you grew up in Chicago and you were a Vikings fan.
Yes, because all that was on TV. The Bears were so bad. You have to understand, this is like the Cade McNown, the Marcus Robinson. Okay, the Bears were. This was before Urlacher and all that.
No Manlandia. You guys were in no
like
Manlandia.
Exactly. The 90s were like a complete ghost town for the Bears. Anyway, and so it was, Packers and Vikings were always on, and Randy, I just fell in love with Randy. Bo is our guy. Our boys.
Nobody took the top off of defense. Like, still to this day, nobody took the top off of defense.
Wait, was that an illegal forward pass?
No, it couldn't.
No, it wasn't.
It was. He pitched it behind him. Like, are they reviewing it?
You guys are way ahead, so you need to pause so it'd be more like D-Mac's feet. No, he's just old. You need to get on our level. Stop going down to his level. Oh, what does this mean, O? What does this mean, Oren?
Love the sneaky speed that Bo has.
Gotta love a fast white guy.
Fast white guy.
Love a fast white guy.
Deceptively fast. It's a good run. It's a hardy run.
Sneaky athleticism.
Sneaky
athleticism.
It's heady. It's a heady run. Smart run.
Eric, are you serious? Was that an illegal forward pass?
No.
It traveled forward, but it looked like it should be a first.
No, he was always behind him. The ball did travel forward, but the ball was always behind him. That's
Fishing says we're the ones who are old. Yeah, well, you can't win them all, Fishing. What can I tell you?
Fishing's always talking shit.
Well, good. You gotta have somebody keep you on your toes.
That's my guy.
Yeah, he says Bo clocked to 22 earlier this year. Absolutely. I mean, he can scoot. That's why he doesn't get sacked very much. Kyler, did Kyler hit his bonus?
When he gets out of the pocket, you just look at guys and you're like, oh yeah, they're gonna get him, and then they don't get him. So he is deceptively fast. It's probably the most impressive part to me. The most impressive part of this season that he's had is the timeliness of his chunk plays. He gets out of the pocket, and no, I don't think that was on anybody's bingo card.
Oh, they're reviewing it.
For
I don't
what?
understand. How is that a forward pass? Oh, because he threw it forward.
He didn't throw it forward though. He literally option pitched it backwards.
He technically threw it forward, but it was behind to Javonte. He threw it in front of Javonte, and Javonte kind of caught up to it. It was a good play, but technically.
But if you pitch it behind you, it doesn't matter. The guy's
always. What's he saying here? He's getting booed. Okay, so it was an illegal forward pass and lost it down. But here he goes again. Can't catch him. High stepping.
I'm telling you, he's just. I didn't get that.
Hey, you can't hear that, can you?
No, I can't.
Oh, perfect. That's just in my headphones. That's how I'm going to listen to it the rest of the game. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Oh, Quinn. Come on, Quinny. Oh, my God. What a play. Trey McBride just tried to hurdle a guy, kneed him in the face, came down, and then fumbled the ball.
Don't do too much.
That's a definition of doing too much, but they recovered it. You know when they say, once you see it, you can't unsee it, like we just talked about with Darlene from Roseanne. The Kyler thing. I mean, the first time that I heard, the first time that I heard, Bo looking deep, Sutton. That's got to be the bonus. That's got to be in the incentive. $2 million.
Suddy.
$2 million. All right, now hustle back. Get it down. Bo says, "What do you want me to do, Sean? Figure it the fuck out." Oh, what was I just about to say?
2 seconds.
Something too. I can't even remember.
The seeing and not being able to unsee it.
Kyler, when he runs like a toddler. Bo, 8 seconds left. That was the first bad throw.
Toddler when he runs,
he does.
He's got that big head. He's so small. He's got that big head. He looks like
just motors.
He's like a peewee guy.
He does, in his short little choppy steps. It's hilarious.
Oh my God. I can't understand how that dude's a starting quarterback. Sometimes it just don't look right. It don't look right on him.
Was that Bo's first incompletion of the day? I think it might have been. And he had a touchdown. He just kind of had pressure in his face. 2nd and 10, 6 seconds. You're not going to let him play with this a little bit, Sean? You're not going to let him play, Sean?
Sean's feeling conservative.
I get it. Wait, do they have any timeouts? I don't know that. They have one. Yeah. 6 seconds left. Do you not try and take one play to throw it over the middle?
This is where that old school,
or throw it to the end zone. Nah, fucking 6 seconds. Take it. If it's 8 or less, you're fine. You go up 4 scores here, right?
Yeah, I mean, you take the points where they're there to be taken.
Let's not get greedy. Let's not get greedy here. Go up 4 scores into
not greedy. It's give the fans what they want. They've earned this.
They've earned this.
They've earned this.
The team has earned this.
This team has earned this. Stick it to him. Give your quarterback what he wants.
Let's $1 million. How about a shutout in the first half, 24-0? Well, 11.5 points wasn't enough. 11.5 was not enough.
It would have looked. I think it would have looked bad for VJ and the defense if they didn't shut.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like, Carson Wentz and the Kansas City also ran out. Having said that, press on the gas and don't let up off of it.
No, you don't want any bad habits to pop.
None.
Up. All right, so you've rushed 18 carries, 98 yards, average of 5.4, 18 to 19, 215, 3 through the air for Bo, $150, 3.4. I mean, it's flawless. Absolutely flawless. Their defense been all over Wentz. Wentz looks like shit. 18 first downs to 3 for Kansas City. It's just an absolute mopping of the floor. How about this? 313 total yards to just 55. Just 55 for the Chiefs. Ripping off plays at 8.5 per.
This is the cooking that this is the meal that the doctor ordered going into the playoffs. And by the way, with this win, they're going to the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. Oh, by the way.
The fuck?
By the way.
Where's Mel at?
Where's Mel at?
You fixed your attitude, Mel?
Mel, you calling you out, huh?
Where's Mel at?
We complain about 24-4-0. Don't be Mel is right.
Don't be Mel. This is Mel. Don't be Mel. We love you, Mel. But
we love you, Mel.
There's no reason.
D-Mac was on it all week. I mean, he did well. Look, guys, you see now we can't be giving him that kind of credit, okay? We can't, because he just goes on
and then
these bold proclamations that don't apply to anything, and then he tells you he was all over it with the Chiefs. Don't you dare give him that kind of fucking credit.
There's Mel. Mel says it right here.
What did you ask, Mel? What did you ask, Mel? I didn't see what you asked him. No, tell me. You got to tell me. I didn't see that one. But I mean, come on. That is a perfect first half for Denver. You cannot be upset with any part of that.
We care, Mel. We kid because we care.
Yeah, you got to be able to dish it out and take it.
Take it
on this stream.
Don't be in here and be
no softies.
Yeah, no softies.
No
wuss behavior, Mel.
No, not at all. Not at all. How about Bo? 18 completions, getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys involved. Cortland cashes the $2 million in the first half.
Good for him.
So now, what do you do? What do you do with the starters here?
That is good news.
What do you do with the starters here?
I'm telling you, I don't mess with fate. I just would not tempt fate. Maybe you come out and you get this first drive under your belt, let them feel good about themselves, and then sit your guys. I mean, it's really academic from here. You've done everything you need to do. It's not important to shut out the also-rans. If the B teams are playing it out and whatever happens, I don't see it going any further past maybe Kansas City scoring 10 points maybe in the second half. Just don't get anybody hurt.
I agree with you. Cortland wouldn't play for me in the second half.
No.
Let's see. Offensive line, I think you got to start to – I think you probably give Bo the third quarter and just make sure that Kansas City doesn't come out and get a cheapie. You know what I mean? Because they do start with the ball, right? Because the Broncos got it first. So, yeah, you want to make sure Kansas City doesn't get cheapie. But, I mean, look at who they're playing today. This is what should have happened. The Broncos had zero excuses. So there's going to be some people. You're going to have a couple people like you know, Mel came on. It's like, hey, no drama. Who gives a shit? Well, I'll tell you what. Everybody should. They're about to snap an 8-year playoff drought. That means something. This is Broncos country. For the last 3 years, sitting and sifting through text line of just depressed fans and people with no hope. And how are you fucking complaining? Like, I'm so sorry. That will not be heard today. I could give a shit about what you think. This is about the Broncos going back to the playoffs. And more importantly, it's about what ownership has done the last couple of years. Look at the resources they've invested in this.
Right.
Team. Look at what they've done to bring in Sean Payton, what they've done to say, yeah, sure, we'll take the dead money cap hit on Russell Wilson. If that's what you need, we will do whatever it takes to surround you with what you need to win a championship here, or to at least put yourself in the best position to do so. Not to mention, we're going to dump, $400,000 on the field just for one game at the end of last season to make sure that our presentation as a first-class organization is at the standard that we require it. Oh, by the way, we're going to completely remodel Dove Valley so that we can provide an up-to-date and a state-of-the-art facility for not only our team, our staff, but also the fan base who's so passionate, who shows up on the hill. So you guys don't have to sit up on that goddamn hill every training camp. That's the worst part of training camp.
I mean, this is why you get into pro sports ownership. And I think that there's a lesson to be learned for the Cronkies in watching how this Broncos organization has handled their rebuild, whereas you're talking about a team that on the other side, in both the Avs and the Nuggets, are coming in off championships and don't seem to have the same. You're going to pour all of it into it. Like, to do what they did with Russell Wilson tells you how serious about winning this franchise is. And quite honestly, I support that. Where'd you go, Matt?
I just went away for a second. Hold on.
Where's my guy?
I'm
All
back.
right, let's read
I'm
some
back.
of the chat.
Yeah, read a chat for a second. Hold on.
Just garbage for years. Jay Sims. Yeah. PS2, Benito, Allen, Sutton need to sit. Agreed. No skill players, no injuries. Have you guys seen Have you guys seen what's happened in the fourth quarter, the last 2 games? Keep these guys in LFG. Let's fucking go fishing. Andon says, snap 8-year playoff drought with a rookie QB, unheard of. Exactly. You can't look up. It couldn't be looking brighter.
No,
It
not at all.
couldn't be looking brighter. That you're playing with house money with your rookie quarterback. And quite honestly, I think they have a puncher's chance to at least advance out of their first round playoff game. I think they have more than a puncher's chance. I'm not as big on Buffalo. I know you got to play that game on the road. So we've not played a very good third quarter.
That's true.
Sharon?
But that is true, though. And I want to bring
Yeah.
up something that Fish had just said. Have you seen the fourth quarter? Hey, why don't you go finish? Go finish here. You can take some guys, peel them off, but go finish in the fourth like you do. Go finish how you would want to in the fourth, in the third.
But
you know
guys,
so
we're talking about Carson Wentz.
But go finish. But do it anyway. But do it anyway.
So what does go finish look like in terms of the third quarter? The whole third quarter?
Okay, you put a nice touchdown drive on the board, and maybe start peeling some guys off.
That's what I'm talking about, because this is just one of those situations when you don't want a late third quarter guy. I don't know if it's Pat Surtain, one of their offensive linemen, and he's sitting and you're like, damn, we should have taken him out. You know what I'm saying? Like, just don't toy with fate.
Mel, you're talking about the Avs. I'm not going to talk about the Avs with you right now. That's not why everybody's
here.
We can do that in our next post game. But I respect what you're saying there, and it's true. Yeah.
What he told you was read the damn chat, Matt. That's what I saw.
Yeah, you're on our stream. I'm not on your stream. We also
Bear Claw.
close. Yeah, Bear Claw. Oh, a little second half. Little energy, huh?
Yeah.
This is incredible. They're beating the Chiefs. How can you be upset as the Chiefs? I don't give a shit who they're playing. We also came so close to beating the Chiefs, if not for that blocked field goal. Absolutely. Could have swept them. No, could have swept them.
That's my point about this Chiefs team. They had too many finishes like that.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Let's see. We haven't played. We talked about that. And look, here's the other part of this. This is justification for where they are as a franchise. This is justification for the route that they're on right now. And to see them make this kind of progress in year one, let's just think about what happens when that dead cap money comes off the books. Oren, like when they don't have to pay for Russ, now they're going to start to bring in free agents. That's going to make a huge difference. Huge difference. Rodgers 15-6, by the way. Jets over Dolphins. A little scoreboard check here. Chargers beating the Raiders as expected, 17-10, and Arizona 17-10 over the Niners. Seattle, by the way, let's see if Gino's at 130 yards, and he needed, Gino needs 200 for his $2 million bonus, and then he also needs a win today. So if Gino throws for 200 and the Seahawks win, he makes $4 million today. Which is a nice chunk of change there for Gino.
Yeah, and he's earned that. I was like, it feels like Geno Smith has been in the NFL for 30 years, like a strong 10. But it's like good for him.
100% good for him. Yeah, are you kidding? Was he on a 1-year deal?
Yeah,
for 30 whatever. Look at what the route he took to take that job is. I mean, he's out doing Jimmy Garoppolo today. Now, you know what I mean. But back-to-back years that he's putting Seattle in a position to win at the end of the year. You'll take that in a down division.
Fuck yeah.
Cheeks aren't going to the Super Bowl. Bet me an eyebrow. I'm not betting you a fucking eyebrow. I'm not going to shave my eyebrow off.
Why would I shave off an eyebrow?
Why would I do that shit? I don't know you, dog.
You like that?
Yeah, I like that. What the fuck was that? Let's see. Gino played when Tom Landry was coaching.
Are you going to be a long time? Are you going to be the one to deliver this message to Sam, or should I?
What? If you
got Bo or Peyton's digits, please let them know 12 yards for Vele. Daddy needs
new shoes. I respect that.
I don't know if they're taking any calls. That's all I'll say. I don't know if they're taking any calls. I don't know if we'd make them, but I don't know if they're taking any calls.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy to me. I love that.
Daddy
Sean
needs
probably
me.
doesn't have his phone on him. I don't have Bo's number though.
Yeah,
Sorry, guys.
I'm fairly sure that Sean Payton definitely doesn't have his. I don't know. He might have it hidden somewhere on that giant menu of a play sheet that he's got.
Wow, the Jets with a nothing to lose move on an interception return just tried the Bo Nix pitch back and it pulled it off. They picked off Snoop Huntley.
Did they?
Yeah, yeah, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. You talk to the chat. I'm taking a bathroom break for the second
I
half.
got you. Let's see. Geno played when Tom Landry was coaching. Exactly. It just feels like he's been like, damn. Whenever I hear Geno Smith, I'm like, didn't he come in the Michael Vick class of quarterbacks? Stay away from free agents until next year. Not a lot of money this coming season. All of it back the season after. Damn, Fishing, what don't you know about? Like, what are you? Some I don't know, fucking armchair GM? Nate Burleson giving the donkey some love. You don't say that here. Okay, so we're up 4 scores at the beginning of the fourth quarter. Then you can sit Sutton and PS2. Otherwise, play ball to the end. Eric, if anybody gets hurt, I'm holding you responsible. I'm happy as can be. Broncos slaughter next week is fine. Broncos lost this week would have been awful. I'm going to be watching this week's game in Scottsdale, Arizona, happy as can be. Clammed. You're going to be clammed up, happy as a clam. Let's see. Tell Mel Sean Payton left cupcakes for the haters on the way out. Mel, did you get that? Fishing had a message for you. Check the chat. 4 out of 5 in my parlay already satisfied. Vele, please, God, I like my house. You're not going to lose the house, shit, Sam. I promise you won't lose your house. Mike Evans' incentive was $3 million. God, football, I mean, playing pro sports is just so awesome. The way these dudes get. What else we got? Vaughn got 1.5 mil on a slap sack. How do you guys keep up on all this information? I just don't care that much. You play to win the game. Hello, keep the starters in. Is that how you feel, Jonathan Kidd? How's your brother Jason? Or is it your cousin? Or is he your uncle? Or are you his faja? Play better. Who's to play better, Chad? Who? Well, you guys, I would say this. Everybody got an opinion as to whether or not you play the starters, you sit the starters in the second half. The only thing you got to remember and remind yourself of is that once you get into the postseason, all bets are off. We're no longer doing the house money thing. Now we're playing to win a chip. There's no happy to be here. There's no, oh yeah, great, we made it. God only knows where we would have been had we not, blah, blah, blah. Once you cross the threshold, you're playing for the chip. That being said, ipso facto, if you can go in without any unnecessary injuries, the team who's playing the best, remember the year that Ben Roethlisberger won a Super Bowl. I believe that the Pittsburgh Steelers riddled off some ridiculous number, like 8 straight. They had every week was win to get in or win to stay alive from like week 10. And they won all the way through and they went out and boom, 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 boom. At the end of the day, you win your first Super Bowl. And Mike Tomlin, apparently, when that happened, got a lifetime coaching opportunity in Pittsburgh. This feels like that to me for this squad. And I'll tell you why. Because at the end of the day, teams that will be representing, I believe, the NFC are just as green at this as you are. With the exception of the quarterback in Detroit, you're talking about, I think, a wide open field. And God damn it, I just see, I don't know, there's something special. I think that there's something, it just has a special feel to it. Am I tripping, Matt? Am I tripping that there's that? Well, the debate is still going as to whether or not you play the starters. And my whole thing is like, once you cross the threshold and you're in the playoffs, there's no more happy to be here. You're playing to win a championship. And so you have to you have to do everything with that in mind. And if that means sitting the guys, because I do think this is an AFC that the Broncos could find themselves. You guys will be much better at telling me what the seedings are going to be. But I think that going to Buffalo is a gift. I think it's a gift. It's an like Bo Nick said, pressure is a privilege. I think it's a gift. All the pressure is on Buffalo.
Did you see that stat? First time leading at half by 21 since 2010.
Holy
at home.
shit.
That's fucking crazy. First time shutting out the Chiefs in the first half in the last 61 games.
I don't give a damn who you're playing against.
Yeah.
They put them on just like you put them on. If you pitch a shutout, you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. Look, Sean Payton's that's a happy guy.
Sean said to Tracy that Bo was really upset about that miss to Javonte there at the end for the touchdown. That's the competitor that he is. You know what I mean? By the way, second half, we're switching to Diet Coke for everybody who cares. It was a little switch. Little
switch up, a little change up.
Yeah. Yeah, I know it's not good for me. I also don't give a shit.
It's the first time.
If that's not going to kill me, then one of the 20 other things is. So
right.
We're here for a good time, not a long time, folks.
Not a long time.
Remember that. So now, as we start here in the second half, okay, the way everything fell today, the chances of Travis Hunter landing in Cleveland went up exponentially today.
That sucks for Travis.
That sucks.
That sucks for Travis.
That really sucks. That's one Coach Prime might have to. For the Haslams are the worst. Anyway, I just wanted to put that out there that the chances, because they're not passing on him, and Tennessee's going to take a quarterback.
God, and then he'd be there with Jerry Jeudy, who's got a terrible attitude like that. That sucks for Travis.
I mean, he would fit the identity of what they want to do defensively, but
for sure, they actually do have a championship caliber defense, but it's just like it's a disaster organization. They'll never get it right.
Although having to go up against Myles Garrett and Travis Hunter every week would be a bitch for a
Oh my God.
But, you still have to deal with Deshaun, so who really cares?
Yeah, I was going to say the joke, but I can't say that.
No.
The Dave Chappelle, Bill Cosby joke.
Oh, yeah.
But he
yeah, I got you. Yeah. Third and six. Get him off the field. 3 and out in the first drive. Let's see.
Absolutely.
Franklin Myers. How about some sack lunch? And this is what I said all offseason, okay? How about this? Pop quiz to you. First one I won't say it until the chat gets it right, okay? And we'll see. When did the Broncos acquire John Franklin Myers? When did that happen? Who knows? I'm very curious because it was a move. Do you know?
I don't know.
Right. This is what I'm saying. It was a move that nobody even thought anything of at the time. You know how many quarterback pressures Franklin Myers? No, not last year. Yes, from the Jets, but it wasn't last year. This is the point I'm trying to make. One of the most subtle moves of the offseason that made one of the biggest differences was getting Franklin Myers. No, wasn't start of the season. Who
eats Jell-O with chopsticks now? Fishing?
Yeah, fishing. You're just striking out. That's 0 for 3.
Yeah, you're fishing.
Yeah, exactly.
With dynamite.
So, let me tell you, because the chat clearly doesn't know. I'll tell you. Draft night. They got him for a song. There you go, that guy. They got him for a song. Okay, what was it, a 7th-round pick? They got him for nothing. He had 50 quarterback pressures last year. Adding him to what he can do in the run game and getting after the quarterback, because he doesn't have to play on the end. He can go 3 technique, and he can put his hand on the ground. And that's a really versatile piece alongside adding Malcolm Roach. On paper, this offseason, one of the areas I thought they got the best in was their defensive line, because stopping the run, they were abysmal last year. Abysmal. And you bring in a guy like Franklin Myers, who's unsung. It was draft night, right? Everybody thinks it was because of the Zach Wilson deal, but it wasn't. It was draft night. It was separate. It was a separate deal, and it kind of went under the wire, and I kept going, guys, this is a huge move, because now you got Zach Allen, now you got Roach, now you got DJ Jones and Franklin Myers. You got a legit D-line here. So you take that, you take the production you've gotten, because it's not just him. You got to think Benito was a 3rd rounder who's playing like a defensive player of the year candidate, right?
Benito, yes, boy. Oh.
I love it.
Nito Benito. I just love it.
I love it. Not only him, but Jonathan Cooper's a 7th rounder. A 7th rounder. You've gotten the most you could have possibly gotten out of that 7th round pick, to the point where you gave him an extension mid-season because he's been so good for you. So that front 7, in my opinion, is the key to this team, because they're getting after the quarterback and they're a bitch to run on right now, by and large.
Making guys like PS2 all that more dangerous, and Riley Moss apparently all that more pivotal, because when you're getting that kind of pressure and you got 2 corners that are capable of giving them time enough to get back there to the quarterback, I'm telling you, if you can only figure out how to run the ball, and it might be a Marvin Mims thing, if you can figure out how to run the ball, that is a plod to championship success type formula for the Broncos. I'm just saying. I'm not saying, I'm just saying.
Fishing. Oh, Lord, the only time of the season I didn't name. Talk about semantics. That's not semantics. That's
that
you
ain't
being
semantics.
wrong.
You were
dog.
wrong, Fishing. That ain't semantics.
Although
now you're
right
mixing up your words.
He's right on this one. Zach Allen is the star of the D-line this year, and the fact that he's not in the Pro Bowl is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. All right, so here you go. Go put this game away now, Bo. Now you go put this game away.
Drive down,
the second and a half.
Get a tud, wrap this bad boy up. You're up 31-0. Everybody sits.
Was it Fishing in the first half who kept saying run the ball? That's what I want to see in the second half. Let's shorten this game. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Get to the playoffs. Run the ball and get ready for Buffalo.
And your running game needs to work. This is the perfect time to get it.
God, look at those drive charts. 4 for 4 scoring drives. How about the 18-play, 89-yard drive that took up 11 minutes? That is as good as it gets. As good as it gets. Tampa Bay played with fire. I know you didn't watch football this morning. Tampa Bay should have lost to New Orleans. Baker was not good for a large part, and then in the fourth quarter, he really stepped up.
The Baker.
Devon Bailey. I don't think Sutton's on the field, by the way, for everybody who wants to sit starters. Who was the one guy I said you bench? I was the one guy I said you bench to start the second half. That was a hell of a ball in the first half. Yeah, Bo, man. Making plays on the run, avoiding sacks. The catch by Vele. How about the catch by Vele that just goes completely kind of under the radar because they're dominating?
Give me 2 seconds now.
Okay.
Hold on, I'll be back.
10 yards or more through the air, Bo. 12 of 13, $164 and 2 touchdowns. Get shredded. Bo on a 1st and 10. He's just got time, steps up, delivers. That's not a bad throw either. Although, did he get there earlier? Oh, no, Sutton's on the field. I take that back. Sutton is on the field. Was that Christian Roland Wallace? How about that? I mean, a no-name safety from USC who's come in and played big minutes for Kansas City. Roland Wallace got Shedeur last year at Folsom. No, that wasn't Roland Wallace. I mean, moving to his right, throwing back across his body. You can't throw the ball better than that, ladies and gentlemen. You cannot throw the football better than that. That's an incompletion, but I mean, tough catch. I understand. And it had some zip on it, but come on. Oh, McLaughlin just absolutely, that play had no legs. No legs. Bolsey is furious. He's yelling at Powers there. Let's see, chat. What that run was garbage. Yes, it was garbage. It was garbage. 2 yards left for Vele. Sam, I'm pulling for you. One more catch, just a little catch. You got the whole second half. And he definitely won't get benched. He'll play even with Stiddy. All right. Can we be done with Cortland now? That was the universal sign. Hey, although good stop by the Chiefs. Got the Broncos off the field. Now they're handing the ball back to Carson Wentz, but good stop by the Chiefs. That defense isn't quitting. Yeah, I don't know that. I really love that. I'd have to go back and look at that because I don't love that play because you got your route concept on the right side is basically like 3 verticals. You're just clearing out. That's basically a clear out for a little drag to Cortland to see if you can't get the secondary down the field a little bit and get some yards after the catch. But Bo's got to get rid of that ball. I mean, he gets rid of it on time. That's just a hell of a play by Joshua Williams to close. Or is that Williams? That's Reed again, huh? Or Hicks. Excuse me. This guy that you would have never known in your life had he not played today, and you watched Week 18 and you cared or were a Broncos fan. Chiefs fans probably tuned out by now. Let's just be honest. Sit court the rest of the way, says Jeff. I got to agree with you there, Jeff. Sutton is on the field. You watching the same game. It was one play. It was one play fishing, but I respect you getting back on me. Run the dang ball. Yeah, but at the same time, Javonte, maybe a little bit more Javonte in the second half. Although maybe that's the guy you're looking for to start in the playoffs. They're really trying to get Jaleel more involved this year, though, guys. They really are. They really are. What's interesting is you get stopped, right? You did get Kansas City off the field. If Kansas City scores here, that's probably the only reason maybe you still go and throw the ball. Otherwise, I'd probably just run and try and bleed as much of this clock as I possibly could. Right? I mean, are we all on the same page here? Let's shorten this second half. Let's not mess around too much. Throw when you need to throw. Go back to the game plan in the first half. Set up the pass with the run, little play action. Get your shots down the field if you want to take one. But just easy pitch and catch for Knicks and rely on the ground game, right? That's what I want to see in the second half. That's the ideal factor there, right? So it'll be interesting because what does Kansas City do? I mean, at this point, you just got to start throwing the ball down the field, right? Are you really trying to manufacture drives together? I don't think so.
And we're back.
Let's see. No, this team needs experience coming out of the half before playoffs. I agree, Fishing. I agree. And
there are all kinds of subtleties to, developing chemistry and playing your best football going into the postseason. Yeah, and I don't disagree with that. But what do you really – I think you got your work in. I think you did get your work in. It's not that you have to play up until the fourth quarter, the last minute of the fourth quarter. You got good work in that first half. In that first drive, it seemed like a team that was ready to sit guys down.
Tim asks for a timestamp. I'm just getting out of commercial here. That's where I am. I'm just getting out of commercial here.
I am just I think I'm seeing an Invisalign commercial. So
yeah, you're right. You're just like 15 seconds behind me. So I'll wait. I'll wait a second. Tell me when they showed the Denver skyline.
Okay. That was not what we wanted though out of that first drive. Correct?
No. Correct.
Especially that last hit that Sutton took. I just, it looks hinky. Those are the ones where I'm like, okay, you're toying with fate.
No, definitely.
It was around his legs in the open field. No.
But this is what chat. Oh, God. Carson is just fucking terrible.
It's so crazy. This guy was where did he go in there? Was he the number 3 or the second?
Yeah, it was top 5.
Top 5. That balloon came off that rose. I just remember Carson Wentz, and I was like, there's no way in the world he's not going to be a Hall of Famer. Yeah, nope. Big, strong, make all the throws, and now it just looks like he doesn't even know how to play football, which is fine.
100%. I was listening to it sounds like they had a bet, the Broncos defensive line. Let me hear what Tracy Wolfson had to say because this was interesting.
Hit that. There's a couple of first downs on that opening drive.
Oh, Franklin Myers incentive. Hold on, I'm listening to what she had to say.
I got you. We're young and need all the game experience. We got a little bit of a mutiny.
Oh,
Fission's leading a mutiny.
I see.
In the chat.
Well, good. Let him lead a mutiny. You're not taking out the captain of the ship.
You goddamn right. Look at me.
Hey, look at me. Hey, Fishing. Hey. We're the captains.
We're the captains.
A couple things. She was saying that Franklin Myers was giving Benito shit on the sideline because I guess he needs one more sack to hit his incentive of like $500,000. And I guess Benito came over to him and was like, "Well, I'll take you out if you don't end up getting it." That's why, because Carson Wentz got out of one of those sacks. That's what they were saying. Rodgers just getting annihilated by Calais Campbell. Love to see it.
I love it. South High School, stand up, Denver, stand up.
By the way, he's done, isn't he?
Calais?
Rodgers, not Calais.
Oh, no, yeah.
Calais can still play.
And I think he's holding every I think he's holding the Jets hostage with the possibility that old Aaron Rodgers shows back up. It's not happening. It's a wrap. But he's got that. It's that allure to a team that thinks that they're right there. They're just one Aaron Rodgers away. And if you've watched him play this season,
Sean McVay putting his balls on the table with a 57-yarder cashed. This kid's made a 58-yarder and now a 57-yarder today. Sean McVay's just saying, fuck it, kick it. I love it.
Fuck it.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you. That was just amazing.
Drones are to blame. Inside joke, but you never know.
What were you saying?
I don't even remember.
I know. I'm sorry. That's my fault.
No, it's fine. Yes, sir.
Wentz was never the same post-injury. He wasn't. He just wasn't. If we get to 30 points, did everybody? Oh my God. Jeff says he expected more out of Wentz today. Honestly, so did I.
Really?
A little.
Why?
I mean, this is pathetic.
Based on what? Based on what?
Didn't
because
he
plays in Kansas City? That could be the only thing that it's about. He's running for his life.
Wasn't he 9-7 in Indianapolis that last year?
Okay.
I mean, he's not. There's worse backup quarterbacks you could have than Carson Wentz. There's a reason why they went and grabbed him.
Serviceable matches up with Carson Wentz, I guess, best. But when you talk about your best, like, it's no Geno Smith situation. We could say that.
No. Chargers are about to put the Raiders away here for all interested parties, by the way, because I think the Chargers are playing for the 5 seed, right? I think that's how that works out. Boy, the AFC West, when Russ got traded for, remember what we said? Best, is this the best division ever for quarterbacks?
Football.
And now you have 3 teams that are going to make the playoffs.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. It just goes to show you this is not an easy division. This is no kick.
No, it's not. Two great young quarterbacks, and then the GOAT currently of this era. Two great young quarterbacks. Like, I know they got one in San Diego, and now apparently the Broncos have one. And who cares if the Raiders don't figure it out? Football's always better when the Raiders and the Cowboys are terrible. Football is better. Actually, I like when the Raiders are good. Football is kind of interesting.
The Raiders better realize real quick that Aiden O'Connell ain't the guy that's going to get it done there.
No,
they ought to move and go get Shador. That's what they really should, because he would be a perfect fit there. Oh Jesus, Julie.
I mean, his relationship with I'm assuming that that's what's going to happen because of his relationship with Tom Brady, right? Like, somehow they're going to get that done.
We'll see what happens. Mark Davis is a bizarre guy, though. So I don't know.
It starts with the haircut. It's like,
imagine
you walk out of your house
looking at yourself in the mirror.
Hey, you see? He's like, I still get chicks.
Let me see if I can. Does that look good?
Just licking it.
Yeah.
I still get chicks. So
you gotta get the bowl cut right.
Like, what? You look like Lloyd Christmas.
He makes different 18-year-olds put the bowl in his head and cut his hair every single weekend.
Grab that bowl over there.
Yeah.
Just give it a cut.
Yeah.
Right there, right across the
Scissors are in the top drawer.
Jesus. Only Al Davis's kid can walk around.
Seriously. I mean, look, I don't want to make fun of people, but that's just a
some people warrant it. Some people earn it.
Can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
Like, do you go through different hairstyles and then end up landing there?
I think
what I mean.
Like,
is that what happens? Or is
well,
it
I
just
think
like,
it's everything below his eyebrows.
When I was 5.
Everything below his eyebrows, I think, determines for him, like, it's not going to get. I don't care what I do. It's not going to get much better. I think he knows full well what he's working with. So you just go complete ridiculousness with the haircut. Because what would a well coiffured Mark? What would he look like if he had a good haircut?
Or maybe he just can't. That's what I'm saying. I'll tell you what, I could not have a different haircut. There's no way. I couldn't have like long hair. It's just like too poofy. Like I have one way, short buzz. My whole life. That's it.
You know what astonished me, and you guys know this. I hadn't seen it. Cecil Lammey long hair. What the fuck,
bro? It's like John Wick level.
Right.
First, that's what he keeps. That's what he told me. He was. I mean, I love Cecil. First of all,
I love Cecil.
Yeah. Second of all, I mean, the guy's hair just so. I always made fun of him. I always go, so do you use mane and tail? Because you remember Blades of Glory? Blades of Glory. Don't touch my mane and tail. Or what does he name the comb in that movie? What's he name the comb?
Blades of Glory is one of the most underrated of all the
It's real whalebone. That's what he says about
it's
that.
real.
Yeah. That's what he says. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, Cecil Lammey long hair blew my mind. I
long
don't
hair.
know how I saw it. I just ran across it on like Twitter with him
There
in
you go, Bo.
Dover, and I was like, "What is happening?"
Get loose, Javante. He looks good today.
He needed this.
Yes, he did.
He needed this. I don't think anybody has had a more disappointing sort of Broncos career than a guy that everyone wanted to see succeed and just for whatever reason could not get right. Is like can't get right.
His knee, he tore it all up. It wasn't just his ACL, he tore it all. It's not an easy injury to recover from.
No, it's not.
Especially when you're crushing Takis at night, like you said he was. You know what I mean? Like, hey.
Like, what the fuck? You're a professional athlete.
Well, I get it. In football.
Do you?
Yeah, I do, because in football it's a little bit different because you're, and I would say hockey the same thing too, because you're just burning so many different sure, in NBA you're running and it's a lot of cardio, but when you've got full pads on, you're sweating your balls off. You know what I mean? Especially in those sports that you just that's why in hockey those guys eat carbo load and eat a bunch of pasta and everything. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I feel like if I did that before I played basketball, I'd be sick. I don't know about you,
Matt. Have you ever tried Takis?
No, I would not.
It's not advisable. I don't care.
Yeah.
There's no way that should be a part of any.
People eat hot Cheetos all the time.
Oh,
I mean, people are just crushing hot Cheetos left and right.
It's hard to turn down hot Cheetos. That's space food, bro.
Is that not the same? Are they not the same?
It's basically, but Takis cut. I mean, hot Cheetos will cut the roof of your mouth, akin to Funyuns.
Okay, but get down, Jaleel, for the love of God.
Are not that.
You know what, Jaleel? They have done a good job getting to the Broncos and not allowing them to run the ball and run this game out. That's the truth. Bo has had to throw to keep this drive moving.
Yeah,
that's a little bit of a problem. You shouldn't. You should be. That should have been the halftime speech. All right, now we're going to go run the ball on the fucking throw.
Run the ball. Yeah. A concerted effort to run the ball and make it work. You're gonna need it. You're gonna need it in Buffalo for sure. That is not a defense that you want to be able to pin it to his back and say, okay, well, the second half, we don't have to worry about them. And this is the same thing that he did 2 weeks ago. And I'm talking about Sean Payton, which is just go away from the run. And you would know better than me that they're game planning against it. But I think you got to force the issue.
What a ball. Bo is fucking dealing.
Zing.
Dealing. Jesus, this guy's red hot. Vele, what a grab. I mean, this guy, another fucking steal. Sean kept coming up there in training camp and going, hey, I feel like we got a second round grade on Jonah Ellis, and we got a third round grade on Abrams Drain we got in the 5th, and we had a third round grade on Vele we got in the 7th. Like he hit at an incredible rate in this draft class. It doesn't always happen like this.
And Vele was he's a
7th rounder.
Wow, that's good.
And he's 26, right? And that's why.
Yeah, because he went on mission, right?
Yeah. I was 0-2 against them in 2024. First at the Fan, second at BYU. They got me good in 2024. LDS2, Matt 0 in 2024.
That's all right. Latter-day Saints.
That's why we got 2025.
That's okay. Right.
We'll get him back. We'll get him back.
That's right.
Second and goal. Now running the ball still to Jaleel. Interesting. I mean, he's there. Chat, what do we think? Jaleel McLaughlin, without a shadow of a doubt, is he their best back yet? Has he proved that?
He's not their best ball carrier, but maybe. Their best ball carrier is Marvin Mims. That's for me. I'm like, there's your Devo.
Oh no, he's not big enough.
You don't think?
He's not big. No,
he's shifty though, man. He's their
gadget guy. He's not their Debo though.
You don't think? I think that Marvin Mims has. Every time he touches the ball, it feels like there's something special going to happen. That's why I love Marvin. And they don't have a lot of those guys like Jaleel.
Speak of the devil, call his number one more time. Put up 2 for Mr. Mims today. Oh, called it. Gadget guy. Now do you sit everybody? Nah. You know what? I think it makes a statement. I don't think
you guys like to test fate, man. You guys are I like it though. Live dangerous. Fuck it.
Fuck
LFG.
Go right in the playoffs with your head held high. Just absolutely beating the shit out of the Chiefs. You don't care? Fine. We just beat you 50-0.
LFG. Let's fucking go then. You guys
Why
like
not?
to live dangerously? I'll live there with you. I'll come into your neighborhood.
That's a dumb idea, by the way. But
yeah,
but
I love you guys. But
I don't know. I don't know that Bo gets another drive. That might be the last drive for Bo Nix.
Gotta sit him.
Yeah. And why? Honestly, that might go down as one of the best rookie performances in NFL history, right there. Hold on, I'm grabbing my water. It's on the other side.
Got you. Bo for rookie of the year. I'm right there with you, Jason. I'm right there with you. They didn't earn the sit, Oren. 2 weeks to earn that. Vision, you are feeling cantankerous today. I could tell did you not get enough sleep last night? What's the deal? Were you trying to act out because Matt's here? Is that what it is? I know how it goes. When you get in your friend groups and you're grouping your friends, and then another guy shows up in the friend group, and then you act different. You acting different. You acting funny style right now, Fish, and that's all right though. Grass Valley Greg, let's go. Where's the F? Grass Valley? What are you, LDS? Throw an F in there or don't come in here at all. Fishing, if they won the other games, they'd still have a chance to get sixth or even fifth seed. So starters would have to still be playing. Ebba Zebba, you my only friend. That's all right, Fishing. I'm fuck with it. Come on, talk your shit. Talk your shit. You know I'm gonna talk mine. I get in here with you guys and I just get schooled on everything Broncos. I ain't gonna hold you. It's just fun for me. It's just fun for me. What did Jonathan say that we're exactly in? Oh, okay. We have in fact effing gone. That's right. That's right. Fishing getting the love. Speaking truth. God bless Bo Nix. I got to be honest with you guys. I don't think God gives a damn. But for Bronco fan,
we're back.
We're back. And he's back.
And we're back. Z105.
This is fun with you, Matt, because you cover all the nuts and bolts, and I just get to be comedic relief.
I love it.
That's fun for me.
Happy to do it. Happy to do it. Honestly, now,
and
like
that's
I said,
fun to talk to. You know, movie references.
Yes, I do. My life is like one long string of Bo doesn't take that. Now he's got the wrap around his back. I think Bo's day is done.
We're done here.
He doesn't have his helmet sitting on the sideline. I think he's done. Unless they hold him 3 and out and Sean says, we'll give you the whole third. But I think you put Stidham in now.
Yeah, Jared Stidham. Let's just work on other.
I don't want to hear one person complaining. Do we all realize they're up 31-0 over the Chiefs? Take a little slice of that, okay? Take a little slice of that, Kansas City. For all those Broncos fans for the last years bitching at me on the text line, how about that? 31-0. You don't trust Sean now? You're upset with his game management now? Just kidding. You can definitely be upset with that from last week. Would you have gone for 2?
Yes.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think he's had 3 or 4 games like that this season where it's kind of been like, you're the problem.
That might have been Carson's best throw of the day right there.
Maybe Jesus loves the Broncos. You're probably not wrong.
Who was that? The Liberty coach yesterday? Did you see him? He had the shirt that said Jesus won, coaching in the bowl game. They got beat.
No, I saw that. I saw that game was on. Who they play? Buffalo or something like that.
Yeah, Buffalo beat them by like 24.
Do I really want to watch Liberty football? But isn't that the one we got? Didn't see you get their next quarterback from Liberty. That's where he came from, right?
Yeah, Caden.
I wanted to watch that game because of that, but I couldn't.
Oh, he's already here. He was practicing with.
Oh,
them
so
San Antonio.
Okay, he didn't stay with them. Okay.
No. Dipsy doodle.
What a great pickup. What a great pickup.
Well, it's huge because I had heard, and you know, Juju was going to USC, and somebody told me behind the scenes, which I never really believed, that part of the reason, and I think it was kind of assumed that part of the reason he wanted to come to Boulder was because he could start right away, or at least have a chance to start right away. What the hell are the Jets running? The Jets are running some absolute bullshit, like a tight end throw. That might have been Tyler Conklin who threw that. Anyway, so I had heard that they had maybe promised Juju they wouldn't get a transfer, which did not sound to me at all like Coach Prime.
No.
Like that is the opposite of his whole thing, which I'm glad it is. And even Salter did an interview there locally in his hometown, and I can't remember where he's from off the top of my head, but they asked him what CU told him about coming in, and he was like, "Oh no, it's all competition." Although you got to compete with a 17-year-old, so that was a big deal.
If Caden Salter loses out to Juju, I think they still both get reps.
He won't lose.
Exactly. And if he does, you've got, the second coming of I don't know.
3rd and 7. Get him off the field here.
Get him off the field. Okay, we're right. We're compensatory. I'm right here with you.
Oh God, he has been off all day long. All day long. Good. Got him off the field. Now what do? You bring Bo back in?
No.
I think he's gonna.
I better not see Bo Nix trotting out there with the. I think you're toying with fate. No reason to do it. It's gratuitous. Under a minute in the third, there's no reason to bring him in.
I would agree with you, but I don't know if Sean's thinking the same way. Can I get a Rodgers and Adams touchdown at some point today? They're going for it 4th and 7. Why not? What do you have to lose?
Right.
Carson. Oh, slipski. And that's Benito again.
It just looks bad. Everything that went, it just looks bad.
How about Nick Benito? After his rookie year, guy couldn't set an edge. Oren.
Way to go, Nito, gang. Yes, boy. Oh. Yeah.
Nito. Benito, my guy.
I mean, what a steal. I wish we had the clip of George Payton saying Nick Benito at fucking 63. All right. You ever seen that clip?
No.
That was from draft night where he was, George Payton swearing, which is very rare to see in any sort of video. He is like as buttoned up as it possibly gets. Rodgers looking for Adams. God damn it, Aaron.
I love the parlayers going through it. You need it so bad and you just can't get it.
They're forcing it to him right now. It's just nowhere close. Okay, Jaleel hasn't run for positive yardage one time in the second half. Let's put him on the shelf. And now he's a little.
Is Estime hurt? What?
No, he's not. They're just leaning on Jaleel, and now Jaleel's a little gimpy. Get him off the fucking.
What's the deal? Is it okay? So you're on the ground there. What is it that they don't see in Audric Estime that I do see? Because he doesn't seem to get the reps.
The Jets are just running all sorts of bullshit. They're motioning tight ends in the backfield. They're motioning running backs in the backfield. It's hysterical. I'm sorry. I couldn't help myself. What did you just ask me?
What is the deal with Audric Estime and why?
He's just young. And I think it's about pecking order. And there's got to be something that Sean doesn't love about him in general. I think, there's some moments where he's got some good burst, but he's an average back. Like, I think you can find 20 different Audric Estimes off the street, which is why when he was coming out, his last year at Notre Dame, there were some moments where he had some breakaway speed, but he's more of a between the tackles guy. They're just not using him like that. And I think he's also kind of a tell right now, too, unless they get him a little bit more involved in the passing game. Rodgers, you're killing me, buddy.
Estime sucks. Let's face it. He can't pick up a block and isn't very good or isn't a very good receiver.
Yeah.
When he's on the field, it's a run 90% of the time. All right.
Basically what I just said. Absolutely.
Okay.
But I mean, he's had some moments. I just
don't see where the other two guys have just outshined to where, to me, I feel like he's had the better moments from what I've seen. And I feel like you got to let a guy get a rhythm. You got to let one of these guys get in a rhythm. And it's not.
Hey, Eric. No. Playoffs, bitch.
Playoffs, bitch.
No, it is definitely not too early to pop a little bubbly. In fact, if I had some, I'd sip with you, but I don't.
Yeah, well.
A little sip.
Drinking out of my Hall of Fame, my NFL Hall of Fame cup.
It's
coffee.
It's coffee. Relax.
Coffee's for closers.
It is for closers. And the Broncos, hey, I mean, offensively, Finished it
Sealed
out.
the deal.
Everybody who wanted a good third quarter, you got one. What else do you have to see? Nothing.
Nothing.
Now, nothing. And the Broncos, the last fucking 8 years, it's over. It's over. It's over.
That's, I mean, especially in a town that's so dominated for so long. During the Shanahan years, it was always a trip to the playoffs. It became, it wasn't even a second thought, regardless of what happened. And then obviously the drought after.
Wow.
It's just been a revolving door of coaches and quarterbacks. And this feels like a resurgence. This feels like, Mortimer, we're back.
Sam, I got to tell you something, pal. You might have to just eat this one on the chin. Daddy's not getting new golf clubs.
You're not getting
2025.
It's not happening.
No. Look, we've all been there.
Bench
I went
down
through it there. You
yard.
watched it live with Rodgers and Adams. 3 targets, 0 catches in the end zone. I'm right there with you.
All right.
Bo's in there. I told you he wouldn't take him out yet. I knew he wouldn't take him out.
Why?
Oh, go! Why would you do this? Throw it. I love it. Don't take your foot off the gas. Fuck the Chiefs.
Okay.
Fuck the Chiefs.
I'm right here with you. I'm gonna ride with you, Bronco fan. But if it goes bad, just remember, I warned you.
And we'll see y'all in Kansas City divisional weekend.
We're going to Kansas.
That's kind of this message, huh?
Kansas City, here I come.
By the way, not a great city. I just got to tell you, like,
Fucking
I was
Kansas
just there
City.
a couple weeks ago, or about a month ago now, for CU getting their asses pasted by Kansas. There's just not a lot to do, and like, I mean, yeah, okay, you got a couple of casinos, but
yeah, you go to the river and play. Yeah, KC Mo and KCK both.
Yeah, I'm not
Sherwood Forest, and just really, you've been there. You have the barbecue. You get out. There's no reason to go back.
I'm a Midwest guy too. You know, I understand what the Midwest is. It's just Middle America's all the same. That's why I can't stand this Big 12 conference. It's just like, I miss the caviar and the convertibles and the raised pinkies of the Pac-12 and of Oregon and the California coast. You know what I mean?
You've got
and the Yay area.
Now they got two whole teams in the whole Pac-12. What do you do with that? Okay, let me ask you this.
Well,
Matt.
not anymore.
We're in garbage time now. What do you do with college football with these conferences? How long can you keep pretending and playing like this is what we need to be doing?
Well, they're
conference championship game over here. This conference only's got 2 guys over there. These guys are leaving and going over there. Like, how long are we going to keep doing this?
Problem is, excuse me, there's not strong enough leadership right now. And the NCAA, how about Bo? Last 45 pass attempts, 84% completion percentage.
Fuck yeah, Bo Nix.
He's not really putting the ball in harm's way outside of but one time really in the game today. They're not taking their foot off the gas at all. Not at all.
Okay.
This is I don't know.
That's the message that you want to send?
Sean in those sunglasses now that it's gotten dark is hysterical too, by the way.
To hide my eyes.
Yeah.
Hide my eyes.
Well, he's got there you go. There's Estime with a nice little first down carry between the tackles. College football. You don't have strong enough leadership on either side. Right now, we are in essentially this phase of the schools trying to wrestle back any and all power that they can possibly get their hands on.
Agreed.
And money. They don't like that the kids have all the say because they have zero say. So that's what revenue sharing essentially is. But the problem is there is no representation for the players right now. This is all being dealt with by athletic directors who are operating on behalf of the schools and politicians who are operating based on behalf of the universities as well. So you got all university control and they're making all the decisions. Meanwhile, there is zero leadership from the players' perspective because they haven't had anybody who's kind of come forward and taken the reins and led them forward on unionization. And there's been a recent lawsuit by the Dartmouth men's basketball team against the NCAA that was dropped because they were trying to unionize as a basketball team, but they dropped it so they could pursue it on a broader scale that would involve everybody. So the hope on my end is that they actually keep pushing all this stuff down the line until the players get their ducks in a row, but there's nobody really stepping to the forefront who's created an organization to try and spearhead this. The guy that I would have loved to see do it is Jeremy Bloom. He would have been fucking perfect, but he just got Bloom is the best.
And with what he went through, he was the poster child, you know what I mean, for, listen, I'm a professional athlete. I own my own likeness. Like, there's no reason why I shouldn't be able to do this and that.
he got screwed.
got screwed.
They screwed him. And he was the one who essentially kind of like, there was a guy, I think it was at Nebraska before that, but he was the one on a national scale that it became like, hey, players and college student athletes should be able to earn a living and not be null and void from playing college athletics, which is essentially the decision that he had to make. And he picked Olympic skiing over college football and then, went back, tried it in the NFL. The point here I'm making is that as of right now, it's just very ham-handed because you've got a lot of special interests that are controlling these negotiations. And what's going to end up happening is they're going to try and put blanket rules on everything with revenue sharing. And unfortunately, because of the nature of collegiate athletics, all universities are not built the same. And so what's going to end up happening is that a lot of these schools are not going to be able to support Olympic sports or maybe women's sports, although they're going to have to. So what they're going to end up doing is just trimming a lot of everything else and pulling budget from here. And the reason right now why you're seeing the transfer portal this offseason, it's to a different degree. Money is dominating because it is the Wild West right now, because it feels like the last stop at the OK Corral for all these, third-party NIL deals. What they want to do
before strict rules get put in place, right?
What they want to do is they want to bring everything in-house, so the universities have to approve every single NIL guy or NIL deal, which essentially they're saying is trying to remove some of the riffraff, which I think it will do. But what they're really doing is they're trying to get all the power back.
I know.
So there you go. There's my explanation.
To me, it's like
Broncos challenge here, by the way.
Amateur athlete was this term that was put on these guys that were basically earning billions of dollars for billion-dollar industry. And so we needed to do away with the facade, and they did that. And of course, it's fallen into chaos, which I don't mind. I don't mind a little chaos.
Was he not in here, by the way? Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Wasn't Michael Burton in there? Did what do we think, chat? Sorry, go ahead. Continue.
No.
I'm listening.
So I'm more of the opinion that it's like, well, while we're in this fit of chaos, lose this bullshit ass conference. Let the horses out of the barn. So lose this bullshit conference shit so that we can get to some modicum of interesting playoffs that don't have this long layoff where, you can keep your bowl system. You don't have to lose the bowl games. The bowl games become de facto playoff games. And unfortunately, a lot less teams are going to be going bowling, but you keep this farm league for the NFL going the way that it should be. And unionizing, I think, would follow shortly after that. But you got to kick the old guard out, I think, in order to even get there, because those seem like the most. He was not in.
He was not?
He was no. That's short of the line again. Yeah, the hold is being held by, I just feel like, the good old boys club. And that shouldn't be enough to hold back what is far more compelling now. It's almost as compelling as the NFL. I love NIL season. I don't know what it's like, drinking out of a fire hose, watching all the guys go in and who's changing here and who's going that way. But it's made it more compelling. It's made it fun to watch.
Can I believe that CBS switched the Chargers-Raiders game for out-of-market viewers? I can't believe that because this is a shit game, but it's a great game for Broncos fans. Yeah. I understand being pissed about that if you're a Bronco fan. Time to start pulling starters. I would agree. It's getting to that point here. Finish this.
Oh, yeah?
Finish this. I mean, if you didn't finish this drive off, it's over with. Now you're done. Now I'm done. Shout out to one of the GOATs, huh?
Oh, man.
Romeo.
Now I'm done. Rack me. Now I'm done.
That's two radio guys right there. You could say now I'm done, and two sports radio guys know exactly what
they know exactly what you're talking. Exactly. Yeah. No TD.
Rams and Seahawks is interesting as hell. All these other games are actually pretty tight.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna switch.
Well, I got them both going here. I got the cell phone.
You got them
both.
I gotta either open up another monitor. I just don't want to fuck with the one that you're on.
Oh, don't. Yeah.
Look at my guy, man.
The Broncos are making the playoffs. Fuck all these other games that don't mean anything.
All I'm waiting for is Lions-Vikings. That's the only game.
Must be a great game. Wow, they didn't give it to him on replay. They said no. Okay.
No TD. He was short.
Sneak that time. There's Estime. There he is, right between the tackles.
Roderick. Isn't that what you need, a hammer?
Bam.
I know it's telegraphing it. I mean, I believe you guys when you say it's telegraphing it to happen, but he is. Sometimes that's
Stop it. That's what I'm saying. Line up and
stop it.
us. Yeah, 100%. But this is the situation where it's a no-brainer. You know what I mean? You're not.
And then you open up play action when you do that, which puts, Bo Nix's wheels back into play in a completely different way, getting him out of the pot. I don't know.
The Chiefs have had a shitty 24 hours, sitting on the tarmac for 5 hours in the middle of a ice storm yesterday, and then getting their asses kicked like this.
Beautiful.
Broncos country hasn't done this to them in a long time.
This adds to my premise that if there's any year that it's going to be a disappointing finish for fans in Kansas City, this is going to be the year where it's like, what just happened? We went 15-1, and you got bounced first round.
Nah. No, you know why? Because that MF is over there on the sideline, and he's a bad MF.
Oh, man. When Patrick decides to go, when he decides to go, Patrick, it's like, damn.
It's damn. I mean, he's unreal, man. But I get it. Broncos fans don't want to hear it. Why? Because they're beating that ass right now. 38.
Exactly. Look, Patrick.
If the Broncos wanted to, they could 50-burger the Chiefs right now. I don't care who you put out there. They're still in uniform. It's going to be one of Andy Reid's worst losses of his career.
No. I mean, this was right. This is one of those where they kind of laid their cards out like, come on, lay down, belly up, do your worst. We're still going into the playoffs, 15-2. But I just think that the fashion in which the Broncos did it, you didn't want to come into this game and struggle with the also-rans. No, you wanted to kick their belt to ass.
Yeah.
At the crib, old school throwback, orange and blue. Go in with a great taste in your mouth and go get one in Buffalo. Like, that's what I'm like. LFG, get one in Buffalo.
Bo, 26 of 29, 321, 4 touchdowns, 152 rating.
Broncos, 152 passer rating.
Broncos rushed for 130 yards. You love that. Sutton hit all of his bonuses basically in the first half. Mims with a pair of touchdowns. Vele a touchdown. Everybody involved. I mean, you got to love it. There hasn't been anybody that's been really no bad performances today, in my opinion. I think everybody's been pretty solid.
Great tune-up game. Great tune-up game for your first playoff.
Julio wasn't that great. And their run blocking in the second half was struggled. He was good to start the game.
What has that been? Smarter people than me, tell me. What has that been that the Broncos are very capable of running I know that they make adjustments at halftime. But what is it about the Broncos running games that tails off so dramatically in the second half? What is that, Matt?
Well, that's tough because it's happened under Russ too, right? Like I think it's just all about maintaining momentum and just kind of being a chess master. And maybe sometimes some coaches are more reactionary than they are proactive. And maybe that's the category Sean falls into. I was having a conversation with a coach this year. Who is this now at quarterback?
Oladokun?
I've never seen this guy in my life.
I've never seen him before in my life.
Not my life. Who the hell is this guy? Chris Oladokun? Where the hell did he play college ball? South Dakota State.
Oh.
I know. Anybody in the chat ever heard of this guy?
Fishing will probably be the guy.
Yeah, Fishing. I knew this guy.
I knew in high school.
South Dakota State, huh? Good for him.
61 sacks.
Good for him in the league. I never heard of this guy in my life.
Third-year player, scout.
Oh, he started at US.
See, look at him. There's Fishing. Third-year player on the scout team.
We knew it. I'm glad he's all over it because he was wrong before.
All right.
Hold on just a second.
No one likes to know it all, Fishing. You know that, right? No one likes to know it all. The one-upsman, no one likes that guy. We love you, but no one likes that guy.
What? I got this shit now. And I've always been a humble person.
That's you. You've always been a humble person. But what? But
I got this shit now. And I've always been a humble
come on, wrap it up. 38-0. Wrap it up. The Broncos beat Buffalo. It will be KC Broncos second round of the playoffs. Okay, so what's your point? Talk to me, Jay Sims. You got the math right. You don't think that you can win that game? Is that what you're telling me? You don't see yourself winning that game, Jay Sims? Well, if you guys use Google, I wouldn't.
You know what I just realized?
You know what, Fishing? The snark, brother?
You know what I just realized? We're headed for the DMAC Bowl.
Explain.
You're going to hear nothing but about Buffalo stories all week.
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
When I was
That's
in
all
Buffalo,
you're going to hear.
when
I did radio in Buffalo, I met my wife in Buffalo.
No, I was watching him and Rachel on Cocktail Hour, and she's taking him through a map quest of his old neighborhoods in Buffalo. Like, oh no,
he eats it up, man.
He eats it.
He's not even from Buffalo, but he eats it up, man.
He eats it up.
I was Buffalo, New York. Who's romantic about Buffalo, New York?
Gee, dear guy, he's like, we got Niagara. No one cares. Jim Kelly's restaurant. No one cares.
When he brought Nathaniel Hackett on, I think it was the first time that Hackett just got hired. Like one of his first questions was like connecting through Buffalo. It was hilarious. It was like nobody cares that you've got a mutual, respect for Buffalo, New York.
He's so encourageable too, because if you ask him a question, you want to know more? He's like, no. Let's try to be nice.
Somebody says, "Do we know when the game will be yet?" No, not yet. Although I think it might be Sunday morning. I'm not 100% sure on that one.
How are the Broncos with early morning starts versus afternoon games? I'd like somebody to give me fishing. Somebody get on that.
Fishing. You know everything.
Somebody get on that. What's the Broncos record early morning starts versus afternoon games?
Chargers, Texans, Broncos, Bills, Ravens, Steelers, AFC playoffs. Chargers and Texans could be a hell of a game.
Yeah.
Those two teams are very similar. Very similar. Although the Chargers just put the Raiders out of their misery, basically. Although that game, Raiders are driving 3rd and 10. They're driving. Aiden O'Connell throws towards
Despite it being a tremendous day for Broncos country, it's a sad day for Justin Simmons. Could have taken less money to stay in Denver, but instead held out for less money.
That's not true.
That's
By the
not
way,
true?
no, that's not true. Sean didn't want him around anymore. Yeah. Sean wasn't a fan. He felt like he was a passenger.
Okay.
Yeah.
Surly guy in the locker room.
And I think that was the other part of it, was that Justin also is not afraid to speak his mind and has been around here for a long time. And if you're really going to flip the culture, you had a lot of guys here that were in losing cultures, and it's nothing it's nothing against Justin. It's nothing against him.
It just is what it is.
It is what it is. And Cortland had to make the decision himself if he was on board.
Are you going to be that guy, or do you want to be on board? And I think Cortland chose correctly, because
he did.
The prospects weren't going to. I don't think.
No, it would have been a huge mistake. It would have been a huge mistake. And that was what happened. That was what happened. Just so you know, and everybody out there knows about Jay Sim. It wasn't like the Broncos didn't want to pay him because they were ready to move on. That was why. That was why. Even though he was a staple around here, and I get that, really good guy, but it was time to move on. And yeah, the Falcons lost today, so that happened. The Bucks flirted with fire. Spencer Rattler almost got him at home.
Spencer Rattler.
And the Bears, they won the Super Bowl in Lambeau Field today.
That was the guy who I thought that the Broncos should have taken. Imagine me. Don't ever let me near your draft. I thought the Broncos should have taken Rattler over Bo Nix. So there you go.
Well.
Yeah. No, I admitted that.
That's all right. We can't all bat 1,000. I mean, let's just be honest.
I don't claim to know it. I just claim to have fun with it. I don't claim to know it. I just have fun with it. Like, fuck.
Yeah. Did Drew Lock make his last career start in the NFL today?
I mean, if a bear shits in the woods, does it wipe its ass with a rabbit? And if the tree falls, does anybody hear it?
I mean, I think he's a solid backup, right? Like he'd probably be a career backup in the NFL, which means he'll probably get another crack at it at some point. But I mean, the Giants are such a mess, man. They are a disaster. And Drew won the game last week and totally fucked them over. They totally screwed him over because now Tennessee's got number 1 overall.
I mean, good for Shedeur. I like it for Shedeur. I like it for Shedeur because I was worried most that he would have to either quarterback his way through New York, which I don't think he would have lasted. The Sanders don't seem too welcoming to the father doesn't seem too welcoming to criticism. And
Jarrett Stidham is in.
Vegas is a dumpster fire. Say again.
Jarrett Stidham is in. Broncos are going to the fucking playoffs, baby. It's over. All that bullshit that we've gone through for the last 8 years, all that crap.
And think about how tight your shorts were for the last 4 weeks trying to get this win. And you got it. It just came 4 weeks later. And you're in. I mean,
man, it's over.
It's over.
Like, it's not, for me, it's like a relief more than more than it is a woo. I mean, it's a partial woo, but it's also like a woof. You know, it's like
the
that
drought
was,
is over.
we've been
And
through
now
this shit.
now the Super Bowl push can begin, right? You're playing with house money.
Fight for some yards, Audric. Good for him. And it seems like, I mean, it seems like these guys are real tight knit too, man. You know, it seems like you got a team here that really likes each other, which coming off of last year and all the hush hush and everybody knew what the deal was with Sean and Russ for the most part, that it just, the vibes are so exponentially better. It's not even comparable.
Now that last run by Audric Estime, just for an example.
Exactly. I mean, just fighting for extra yards, Bo's on the sideline, and they got their guy, man. They got their guy, Broncos country. 8 years later. It only took 8 years.
It only took 8 years. It only took the time that it takes for most people to graduate from medical school. That's all. You got a doctor. Congratulations, you got a doctor.
And they went around and they went about it in a really terrible way. Like there were so many bad plans along the way in those 8 years that they sold shit as gold. Okay. And Broncos fans ate it up. Locke, you know, I mean, let's go down the list. You know, Simeon and Lynch and all these guys. And Jesus, did they strike out? But Sean got this one right.
He got this one right. And, you know, I mean, but here's the other thing is Bronco fan is definitely spoiled when it comes to quarterback success. You know, one well-earned, obviously, our guy, Jesus and Cleats.
Yeah.
Then the other, I still think, you know, it's kind of cheating, but whatever.
You're talking about Tim Tebow, Jesus,
Colorado,
right?
And he was a good fit. You got it. And then you were due for having to figure it out and do what is the hardest thing to do in sports, which is to develop a starting championship caliber quarterback. I think it's the hardest thing to do in sports besides hitting a golf ball because I suck at hitting golf.
Fishing, it's been 8 seasons. I swear to God. It's been 8 seasons. It snaps the streak at 8. It's not 9. An ugly era is over. It's over. It's over.
And it's not just accidentally over. It's not like happenstantially over.
Good point.
They have something. They got a championship caliber defense. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. And they've got, I didn't think he was a guy to start the year. I really didn't. But he's proven not only me wrong, I think he's proven, most importantly, Sean Payton right, because this is their guy. And, you know, I didn't think that it was a big deal to get rid of Russ, but you had to hit right? I mean, you had to hit well if you got rid of Russ, right? Like it would have looked even worse if you went and got this guy, got rid of Russ. No one thought that thinks that Russ is going to return to the days of Seattle, but it'd have been egg on your face. And it's just like, that's got to feel good. That's got to feel good from within the organization.
Not backing into the postseason is right. I mean, they kicked down the door, and I don't care if it was against 2s and 3s, but they did. And that means something, especially when you got to go on the road to a team you know you're going to be a little bit, at least on paper. You probably don't feel that way, but on paper, you may be over. What do you think that line opens as? I wonder if it's even out.
Oh, the Broncos are, I mean, they'll count them as more than a touchdown, right? Somewhere around 8.5. But I don't know why.
I would take the Broncos. I would take those points. Up 8.5 in Buffalo.
Fucking city. I take them to cover, take them to upset city. Buffalo's dying to be disappointed. They're dying to be. This is what they do.
Defense got to travel now. Defense got to travel
for sure.
And you got to make. And here's the other part of it. When James Cook gets going, that's when they kill teams. And they've been running the ball more lately with Ray Davis, and they've been getting things going on the ground. And Josh is, what is he, 12 rushing touchdowns this year? So you know you're going to have to contain him. This is a good game for Nick Bonito because this is a big spy game coming up. Like you cannot in man coverage get down the field and then get gashed with the running game. Because Josh will do that to you on a 3rd down. This is a test. I don't know if they're going to be able to pull it off, but this is a big time test and a good.
Come on, Matt. Just dream with me for a second.
No. But
you got a playmaker at quarterback.
Let me finish. I think it's going to be a close game, but like at the end of the day, this is going to be one of those where Bo's he just had his best performance against 2s and 3s. He looked like he should against 2s and 3s. Now on the road, it's going to be cold, spotlight. Bo's mobility is going to be a big factor. He's going to have to use his legs in this game as well. Big time.
Broncos can't afford to let Josh get loose.
Yeah.
I think that they're more than capable of not letting that. He's going to gas you. He's going to have his chunk plays.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. But you go in knowing that. And I personally believe that this Broncos defense is going to have its best performance next week. I believe that you're going to see something really special because they know what's on the table. They know what's on the table. You beat Buffalo, and really, you've opened up a whole different round of possibilities because I think everybody's looking at Buffalo because of the season that Josh has had as the odds-on favorite outside of Kansas City to get it all. And obviously, I'm not counting Baltimore out. I'm just saying, man. And with Bo Nix's playmaking ability, I think that's the great equalizer. That's where I'm. He's just done it enough times this year where I'm like, okay, he's got timely. The weather is the great equalizer as well, right? It's like, I don't know. Something feels different about this one. Something feels different. Something feels special about this one. It might be like, I think you're right. I think it's going to be ugly. I think it's going to be grinded out, but it's going to play within a field goal and fuck it. LFG.
Wait, so 9 years or 8 years? Now these guys are arguing. Do I have that wrong? Is it not 8? Is it 9 years they haven't made the playoffs, or is it going to be 9?
2015 would be 9.
Now you guys are making me think. I'm going to be mad as hell if you're wrong.
Fire season Peyton? What does that mean?
It might be 9 years. No, it's 8 years. It's 8 years. Fuck off. Fuck off. The season, you understand it's a year late, right? Like it may be 9, but you have to take a year off because the playoffs aren't until the next calendar year.
Until the next calendar year.
Anyway, victory formation, and the
Yes,
Broncos
sir.
are going back to the fucking playoffs. Let's go. Let's go. I got to listen to this on the headphones.
Fucking go.
Let me hear Empower now on the headphones I got here. I wish I could put it on the stream. Obviously, that can't happen.
No, yeah. That'd be
all right.
That V formation look good, don't it?
Chargers, Texans, who?
Chargers.
Yeah, Texans didn't instill much confidence at the end of the year, although they're so similar.
Very much so, but, I'll take in the battle of those quarterbacks. Houston's is no slouch, but
Chargers feel like they're on a better trajectory right now.
Agreed.
By the way, look at that graphic, fishing. Most seasons miss the playoffs and win a Super Bowl. 8. That say 9? That say 8. That says 8.
Fishing?
I don't want to hear anything else.
Fishing?
Boot your ass from the chat.
Fishing? Come on, numbers guy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
So 9 seasons. Look at him. He can't even be wrong and be wrong.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's all right. Don't worry about it. He's 1 for 5 today. It's all right. Some days it's just like that at the ballpark.
Go Broncos country. Playoffs bound. It's better than that. I think buckle in for a wild ass special ride. I think it's more than playoff bound. Playoff bound is like, oh, we're happy to be there. Don't be happy to be there. Let's fucking eat now.
Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you, Jonathan. Fishing, the broadcast just showed 8. Shut the hell up, dude. I don't know what else to say. Oh my God.
I see what the argument is. I'm including this season. Yeah, Jonathan.
Yeah. That's why you don't include the season, because it's
exactly
last season. For the love of God. Rodgers touchdown to Lazard. Still can't get one to Adams.
Still can't get one to your guy to finish that parlay.
Oh, wait. Did he get it? Oh, wait, he did get it.
Oh, so you're in the money?
I'm in the money. He did get it. Lazard just came to celebrate first. Is that the last touchdown pass Aaron Rodgers throws in his career? I don't care.
I don't give a shit.
Broncos in the playoffs.
I care that Matt. I care that Matt made his cream. Cash rules everything around me. Cream get the money.
Yeah.
Dollar bill.
Is he behind the line? Now they're reviewing it. For the love of God.
Andon says, yeah, 9.
Yeah, nah.
But this season's not over, though. You can't count this season is the point.
100%.
Oren is more optimistic than I am. Well, Timothy, pick your optimism up, man.
What do you have to lose? Now it's all house money. You have 0 to lose now.
You got nothing to lose.
Nothing. Not a thing.
The pressure's all on the other guys. And you know what pressure does in winter? It busts pipes, especially Buffalo pipes.
Hey. Empower's fired up. You can hear him on the broadcast.
Are they going nuts? I got the
going
sound
nuts.
I don't want to come through the
nuts.
mic. I got my shit hooked up to my sound bar.
For some reason, it went through my headphones, so I'll take it. On to the postseason. Look at him. Who's that?
Pitched a
That's
shutout.
Malcolm Roach getting in the stands with the fans.
Pitched a shutout too.
7 seed. Lucky
You
number
did it
7, baby.
And you did it in the OGs, and you did it in the OG Orange and Blues.
Wear those all playoffs. I don't care. Wear the
Come
white
on, man.
Bo Nix, folks. He's here and he ain't going anywhere.
He's here and he ain't going nowhere. Malcolm Roach did get into the stands with the fans. That's crazy.
I love that.
The Lambeau Leap. Why does everybody bite the Lambeau Leap? What the fuck is going on with that?
I love that. Finally, the chat relented to us that we're right. I love the OG.
If nothing else, trust you don't have to trust me. I'd trust Matt.
Yeah,
I definitely would trust
around.
The broadcast team.
Yeah, I'm definitely not messing around. My goodness. Let's pour one out for the last regular season Sunday of the year. I agree with you.
It's kind of sad. That's what I said yesterday. Saturdays, when football gets played on Saturdays in the winter, it just means football's almost over. And it's really hard because now the NBA ain't shit to watch. I'm locking in on the Avs. I'm locking in on the Avs after this is done. I care about the Nuggets, but I just know we're not going to get.
You're just emotional about them Nuggets about this.
I am, dude. I know we're not going to get.
I can tell it. But you know what? Broncos season ain't over yet, and for the first time in 8 seasons, 9 calendar years. There you go, boys. The Broncos are going to go to the postseason, and Broncos are playing in the wild card round.
Oh,
and the last time they were there,
imagine how electric that game is going to be in Buffalo. That is.
Should we check in early?
These guys play for.
Should we check an early forecast for Buffalo, New York for next
Yes.
weekend? Okay.
Yes.
I will. As you know, if you watch the exchange with Coach Prime from earlier, I know which apps to look
at. Wait, I missed it. Tell me.
Did you not see that?
No. I did not.
For a different time. I'll tell you a different time.
No,
okay,
tell me now.
No, right. Nobody here gives a shit. All right, here's your 10-day for Buffalo. Saturday 31, Sunday 32. Monday they say snow, so maybe the snow moves up and maybe it ends up being a snow game, but hopefully, I don't know. Would you rather have a snow game in Buffalo?
Yes.
Chat,
yes.
Would you rather have snow in Buffalo? Feels amazing. It does feel amazing, doesn't it, Joanne? After 8 years, you're not a laughing stock anymore. You're not the punchline of every NFL joke.
You're back in it. You're back in the conversation.
2 years ago, oh no, Russ Wilson. You know, Patrick, the Nickelodeon broadcast on Christmas. Oh no, Russ Wilson.
That's
not how he wants to cook.
The best player in the league. I know, but fuck, man, surround him with some shit. All right, we're not doing that. We're not
doing negativity. The Broncos.
We're not doing negativity. Right.
And D-Mac said he wanted to chime in. Playoffs. Let's Bo is right. God bless Bo Nix, as Tony Scheffler said when he got drafted. We'll see if D-Mac checks in. He said he was going to at some point. We'll see if he ends up popping on. But, oh, my God. You got a 38-0 win here over Kansas City, Oren. First of all, 1-17 in your last 18 against Kansas City.
I don't give a damn how you got to get it. If you got to play against the Kansas City cheerleaders, I don't give a damn how you got to get it. You needed to get off the schneid.
And now you have a team that you don't have to like cover your eyes and go, oh God, what are the Chiefs going to do to us?
This is not, again, and I don't want to belabor the point, but this isn't the previous 3 seasons Kansas City Chiefs. I think their record is not nearly as indicative of the team that's there to be gotten. They've gotten super lucky all season. I think that they're down for taking a postseason off. An early win. When you said that earlier, it didn't really register with me that it could happen like that, but I could see this being an early round exit for them.
I didn't say that. I just said they could be gassed. I think they're going to key it back up. That's besides the point. The one thing, though, how about this? We got to read some of these numbers, okay?
Okay.
29 first downs to 5, okay? They held Kansas City to 1 of 9 on third down. They were 10 of 14 on third downs themselves. They had 14 rushing first downs. 72 plays to 33. They held them to under 100 total yards of offense. Under 100 total yards of offense.
That is dominance.
Time of possession, 41-49 to 18-11. Bitch slapped them is what they did. Let's call it what it is. They just beat the shit out of Kansas City. Agreed on Kansas City record. See, Eric says, totally agree, Oren. The only thing that matters is breaking the drought. We did that in Nick's rookie season. Fuck yeah. Yeah, of course. I mean, who would have thought that?
No one. That wasn't happening on anybody. I love this new term on my bingo card. That wasn't on anybody's bingo card.
They were 1-17 heading into the game in their last 18. Now they're 2-17 in their last 19. Thank you. Your math. Get a new calculator or an abacus, fishing. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, might have to go back to the Romans and start moving those little beads across because your math's all off.
Daniel Miller, Broncos beating the Bills next week. I'm telling you, upset alert. I'm setting it right now. I don't know how it's going to happen.
I wouldn't be surprised. And by the way, so you said 8.5? Is that what you said?
Well, that was just what I just threw that out there.
I know. I understand.
Yeah, I said 8.5.
I think maybe more like between 5.5 to 7.5. I think 8.5 might be a little too much. It might be closer to 7.5 because Buffalo will probably draw a lot of public money. So it might end up being around 7.5. What do you think, chat? If you had to handicap Denver at Buffalo next week, what would you put the line at? I'm curious to know what people out there think, especially you, Sam, who finally hit your parlay.
Sam hit?
Apparently, I think he did because McLaughlin got over 36.
There you go, Sam.
There we go.
3-second applause for Sam hitting his parlay.
Yeah,
Daddy's gonna get them shoes.
He's gonna buy those golf clubs now.
Get the clubs now. What is the Broncos' record playing in Buffalo?
Good question.
Broncos.
You got to look that one up.
I'm on it.
You on it?
I'm on it.
Okay. All right, let's see.
Versus Buffalo record.
We just need to hang around and we can win, says Jonathan. I agree on that one, by the way.
Yeah.
They just hang around in that football game, make it a game into the fourth quarter. All bets are off there. And I absolutely think they compete. I think the Broncos have first of all, they've got the confidence now coming off of this win, and they have every tool to be able to make that a one-possession game into the fourth quarter.
Broncos have a record of 10-11-1 when playing in Buffalo. So I mean, obviously every year's different, every team's different, but as trends go, this is a push.
This is a push?
Well, because I don't see the Buffalo. I've seen this iteration of Buffalo looks dominant going in the playoffs and they blow it either, obviously can't beat Kansas City so I'm just not convinced that you're looking at a team that's infallible. And with that being said, when you play great defense and you have a playmaker quarterback, which is what the Broncos have, those teams tend to fare well in the playoffs. And lo and behold, here you are. It's in front of you. Hopefully Sean Payton has seen enough in Audric Estime or whatever in the running game to play it close to the vest, keep it within, like what was just mentioned, keep it within a score, play it close. If you got a field goals chance of winning this game, you're advancing out of the first round of the playoffs, which would be fucking nuts.
Yeah. I'm with you, man. Here's where it is. It would be enormous because it's 7.5 on FanDuel. Thanks, Fish, and I appreciate it. Okay. Look, I think they've got as good a chance as probably anybody that's going to go on the road in the wild card round.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm with you in that. There's no question about it. So I would feel confident actually next week in the Broncos because you're playing with house money. Yeah, Bo is a rookie, and this is going to be uncharted territory for him. But at the very same time, I mean, he's shown as well as any other rookie in the league this year to the point where in the fit with Sean Payton, I wouldn't even go as far as to say he's really a rookie anymore.
I agree. There are rookies, and then there are those guys who are like, oh, that's an heir apparent. He is, and they at that point in time, you kind of throw length of service out of the window. And I really do think this is not hyperbole for me. I really do think he's more than a guy. There's plays that he's made with his feet. And that to me is you can always improve your decision-making, where you're throwing the ball. He's had some squirrely throws, but there's plays that he makes with his feet. He's deceptively fast. I think that's the great equalizer to Josh Allen's, playmaking and extending ability. And all things considered, I think the Broncos defense is better than Buffalo's defense.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think so too. I mean, I think they're if not I mean, I think we could say that, and I hope that's the case. It's just you're still dealing with unprovens here. So before I want to go out and make too many early proclamations, until I see these guys actually do it in the postseason, because
Sure.
it is different, right? And the lights come off, the pressure goes on, and certainly that affects different guys different ways. So I'm optimistic that they can perform well and well enough to at least give their offense a chance to win. And
Here's a
if you
question
can,
for you, Matt.
the last thing I'll say is if you can turn Buffalo over, you win the turnover margin on
I
the
was
road,
just about to ask you that.
like they did
Who
last
wins the
time.
turnover battle in that game? Who turns the ball over more in that game next week?
Well, I mean, when they beat Buffalo in Buffalo, I think, what did they have, like a 5-1 turnover margin? I mean, they beat the snot out of Buffalo in Buffalo. You remember that?
I don't.
Well, last year with Russ, that was a part of their 5-game winning streak last year. They beat Buffalo in Buffalo. I'm gonna have to look it up now, but I think it was like 5-1 because they played the Chiefs next week, and the Chiefs didn't give a shit about that game either. And in total, it was like a 9-2 turnover margin. That
How many of those 5 were Josh Allen picks?
A bunch. There, he played horrible in that game. I'm trying to look at it right now.
Isn't that kind of the Josh Allen MO? Like he can turn the ball when he turns it over in bunches when he decides to play terribly.
Yeah, it was 4-1. He had 2 interceptions in that game, and he lost a fumble. So he had 3 turnovers. He just kept giving it back to them, and then at the end, the Broncos drove down and they won at the end on a field goal, on a game-winning field goal. Cold one. Either way, the point is that I think, first of all, probably good to have done that last year because there are some of those guys in the locker room still. Not a lot,
right?
Not a lot, but they still are. So you have that experience of what it takes to win there on the road. And yeah, sure, Buffalo is. They probably got the better quarterback right now, but Bo's playing pretty well right now, and he's playing well within the system. What the Broncos are going to have to do is a lot of what they did today. If you can run the ball and make sure that Bo isn't on the high dive, having to make 8, 9, 10 throws where you can ask him to make like 6 to 7 big throws in that game because you've had success rushing the football. The question becomes, how do you run the ball, right? And how do you run the ball against Buffalo? I'm trying to look up their numbers and what they've done against
this
the ground
is this is a Marvin Mims, couple of big chunk plays, maybe a special teams, if not take one to the house, huge return, couple of timely calls where you get him the ball in space on one of those wide receiver screens, or maybe even something coming out of the backfield. There's going to be probably 7 big plays that decide this game. In my opinion, if it's cold weather game, bad weather up in Buffalo, there's going to be about 6 or 7. And if you can win that battle, 5 of those big plays in your ledger to 2 in theirs, one of those being some type of a huge field goal, a return for 6, or at least one that puts you in scoring position. I'm telling you, upset city. It's not. I just don't think this is that Buffalo squad that you could just look at and be like, "There's no way in the world the Broncos going to Buffalo and beat Buffalo."
No. It's going to be a football game. I would agree with you. And their rush defense is not as bad as their pass defense. They're very susceptible through the air this year. They've been giving up big yards. Let's see, 23rd opponents yards, pass yards per game, rush yards. They're 13th. They allow about 118 yards to opponents per game. You got to get to that average. You got to at least get to 100 yards. This can't be one of those where Bo is throwing like 50 times.
Right.
I think that's how the recipe for Buffalo to beat Denver is to just find a way to jump early. You probably got to make it a football game early and make a statement. Say, hey, think again. We're here to play, because that place is going to be loud. It's going to be rocking. We know how Bills Mafia gets.
For sure. It's not. I mean, obviously, I'm not saying it's no easy win. Let me ask you this: Who do you trust? Who do you trust in a close game in the fourth quarter? From what you've seen so far with Bo Nix and Sean Payton versus Josh Allen and just his talents, who do you trust?
Allen.
Okay.
Josh Allen. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't.
I think that's fair. He's just had that plenty of experience, and he's going to be super motivated.
He's going to be jacked for it.
And they're at home. They run into problems when they got to go on the road in the playoffs. It's tough to win in Buffalo in early January.
Isn't that more pressure on them, though? Doesn't it seem like all the things kind of fall, in my opinion, to Broncos playing with house money? Bills got to perform at home in front of the home crowd.
Still haven't done it before, though. I mean, on paper, sure, but you still haven't done it before. So I think you got to be cautious about how you approach it. But I think that's why you have optimism, is because it's not out of the question, right?
No.
They play Sunday, and let's just say, at least Fishing said they play Sunday. So Sunday morning, I'm just looking at like what it feels, temperature feels like. About like 20 degrees. Yeah, so it's going to be cold, humidity, and about 10 miles an hour. They're projecting,
Perfect.
projecting. And you know that I was just in New York for the Heisman. It is, it gets cold.
Brutal.
That 18 feels a lot worse than that. So
especially upstate. Brutal.
Right off the water like that. Yeah.
The great equalizer.
Thank you.
Nobody's ready for that shit, bro. They're not
11 a.m. Sunday. Mark your calendars. You ain't doing nothing Sunday morning. Tell the wife.
The Broncos have the 10th ranked scoring offense.
Go to the earlier mass. Go to the earlier mass next Sunday and say a little prayer. I mean, that's what you're gonna need. Early weather for Saturday, but it's Sunday. Yeah.
How did Jaden play today? Now I'm stuck on this rookie of the year conversation.
He had that locked up. He had that locked up as far as I'm concerned. I'm not really even worried about that. Who cares? The Broncos are in the playoffs.
Okay.
That, to me, honestly, I really don't. Jay, it's a popularity contest. You know what I mean?
True.
And he's the more popular player.
He's the more popular player, but he doesn't have. I think Bo might have edged him number wise now, right?
It's a good question.
And he had that. I mean, he had that little hiccup after the rib injury. You know what I mean? Where he wasn't that Jaden Daniels that was lighting it up. I don't know. I think he made it more of a. I think Bo made it more of a conversation down the stretch just by virtue of how he played. And I don't think he's not likable. I think he's actually as not as electric, but he's as popular, as known as Jaden Daniels now. Right?
No, he didn't do anything today. He barely played today. They've got the same amount of touchdowns. Bo has 3 more interceptions, and Jaden has 100 more yards passing, and then on the ground, it's not even close.
Okay, Daniels got it.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Daniels on the ground, it's
flash over substance.
Okay, Dan Lanning. Do you get that reference?
Dan Lanning. I didn't.
Okay. Yeah, rooted in substance, not flash. That's what he said about the Buffs last year. He ran.
He did say that, didn't he? Son of a bitch.
Yeah. He ran for. Yeah. By the way, they got pasted. That was
I loved
enjoyable.
It. I loved it because of that.
Yeah.
That's why I really didn't like Bo Nix, by the way. That's
sorry, Bo. Daniels ran for 891 yards, 6 touchdowns. Yeah. He got that thing signed, sealed.
Yeah, that's his.
Bo is our rookie of the year. I saw somebody say in the chat earlier. Yeah.
Good enough.
That's not updated. Was that not updated? ESPN didn't have that updated. Bo has more TTs. Well, either way, I mean, he doesn't on the ground, does he?
Washington also won 12 games. Yeah, but they won it in a cheapo division. I mean, a shitty division. Well, okay, Philadelphia.
No, and it's not a bad division.
It's not a bad division.
It's not a great one.
Yeah, it's not a great division because of the Giants. But
guys, it's Daniels. You can argue with the wall. I mean, I'd be flat out floored. I don't even know. I can look it up on the rookie of the year odds and what it is right now, but I'd be pretty surprised. He's going to be a finalist, though. Don't shake a stick at that. Like I want to confirm that awards really don't make much of a difference. He'd probably finish third to Bowers and Daniels, or maybe he ends up finishing. Maybe that performance moves him into second. But Daniels is a gigantic favorite. There ain't no way, Oren.
Okay,
I mean, there ain't no way. He's at minus 10,000. Bo right now is plus like 5,000. And on FanDuel, Daniels is 2,000 or 1 to 2,000, and Bo is 100 to 1. So I
forgot Dan Lanning's flash over substance. That's why.
How could you forget?
Cinderella
story is over, man.
That's why I'm an emotional. Numbers won't do anything more for me than emotion will, and I hated Oregon all the way up until that point, and then even more after that game, just because of that whole thing.
One more time
about that.
Broncos in the fucking playoffs.
Yeah, that's right.
I just wanted to say that again because it's been so long. Okay. At the end of the day, thank you, Jason. Those awards don't win you the Super Bowl. They're nice.
No, they don't.
They're nice, but again, just because he's not going to take that home doesn't mean everybody doesn't know he's here and means business. You know what I mean? Like he's not going anywhere.
He's not going anywhere, and I think we've probably seen. I think the trajectory that he's on, like it's already off to a great start.
Hey, this is a good one here.
Great decision making, seems to understand like how to get along with probably a pretty surly, hard to get along with head coach, which is good for him. Great for the Broncos because Sean Payton does, have that pedigree. Like this is actually like you'll remember where you were when this happened because it might not be coming back the other direction. The pendulum might not be swinging back in the other direction for a long time.
We are 2-0 in those glorious uniforms. I mean, come on. The field looks like that. It was a gorgeous day.
What does it tell you? Enough of the blueberries. We get it.
It's not even that. It's like a knockoff of UTSA's jerseys. They look like the knockoff UTSA Roadrunners.
Yeah, that blue doesn't do the orange any justice. You got to coordinate.
Hey,
I love the white helmet with the old school D on it. Like that's the direction. That's the tweet.
Oren, Mahomes actually looked like Mahomes the last 2 games, though. Just keeping it 100.
Okay. Listen. If anybody's earned the right to say they can flip the switch, it's the Kansas City Chiefs. All I'm saying is that when you look at how this season has played out for them, there's been a lot of doinks and a lot of oh my God, they won it. And I don't give a damn. I think your point in the first half was more instrumental. They are gassed just by virtue of having participated for so long. Get them now. They are ripe for the taking. But you don't have to worry about that yet. You don't have to worry about how Kansas City's playing, what Mahomes is doing. Buffalo is the job, and I think that they're there to be got.
1991 AFC Championship game. Good pull, Tim. Good pull. Last time the Broncos played in Buffalo in the postseason. National media never going to give the Donks adequate credit. Look at Hall of Fame. Who cares? Screw
no one
them.
cares. We're not doing that.
Honestly.
We're not doing that. The Broncos have
when they have more name brand. Yeah. And by the way, that's not true because when Peyton was here, they were America's team.
I was going to say they've got Super Bowls under the belt. No one wants to hear that from Broncos fan anymore, but you're not getting the national nod. They got it.
And by the way, it's okay if they don't. They don't have name brand talent. We all understand how this works. Let's not fall into the trap of having a Nuggets mindset when it comes to the Broncos, okay?
What does that mean?
Nobody respects us.
Oh, right.
Seriously. Yeah. It's the Broncos. Like, we're not doing that here.
Right.
Okay? The Broncos have more than enough credit banked in the NFL. Okay?
Steelers, Texans, Browns, KC lost.
I need to back this up, but Knicks and Dan, first rookie quarterbacks to bring their teams into the playoffs after an 8-season drought. That's true. That's definitely, I don't even think you need to look that up. That's definitely true.
Yeah.
100% that's true. Zero fear of Buffalo, says Technophile. Team was worse last year and won. They're going to stun them. That is true.
They don't strike fear. They don't strike fear in my heart.
Yeah, that's a good point. Steelers, Texans, Browns, KC's last 3 wins. Who hasn't turned on the switch against those teams? Guys, please don't make the mistake of counting out Patrick Mahomes, even if the Chiefs look like shit in the regular season.
You don't want to do it. Come on.
I'm sorry. I know it's the Chiefs.
It's fun to be irresponsible with your sports takes. Come on, Matt.
Don't be fucking dumb. That's my advice. This one from Wes. I wouldn't bet on it, but Broncos can definitely win next week. They've done it before. Nothing to lose. All pressure's on Buffalo. That's
again.
True. Yeah. House money.
Very true. House money.
I think the dude in DC will win Coach of the Year, Dan Quinn. I don't know. Who do you have as Coach of the Year?
I think a case could be made for Sean Payton.
A case could be made. A case could be made, but I don't think he's going to win it. Does Andy Reid have to win for how shit the Chiefs were at the beginning of the year and still going 15-1? What have they won, like 16 consecutive one-score games or something like that? It's ridiculous. They're all right. Who would I pick for Coach of the Year? Sean McDermott. I mean, got to be up there. Tomlin, fuck it. What he got out of Russ, he got 10 wins out of Russ in that division. Mike Tomlin gets my vote for Coach of the Year, even if they lost the last 4.
No, I can't do it. I love Mike Tomlin, but I'm like, at this point,
10 wins out of Russ.
You got that, but wouldn't you have gotten better out of letting Justin Fields? Like, what was the point? You got to figure out what you got in Justin Fields because you're not going anywhere with Russell Wilson. That is for goddamn sure.
My vote either goes to Mike Tomlin or Kevin O'Connell because Kevin O'Connell has the 14-2 Vikings headed into Detroit right now tonight to play the 14-2 Lions for control of the number 1 seed in the NFC.
Can't forget
that's badass.
Both of those coaches in the North, in the NFC North. Can't forget about both of those.
All bullshit aside, I'd vote for O'Connell. He's got Sam Darnold at 14,
which is crazy. Every time they're playing well, I'm like, Darnold's gonna. This isn't sustainable. It's Sam Darnold. I was like, no, it's Kevin O'Connell. It's his offense.
Yeah,
And Justin
100%.
Jefferson. That doesn't
Yeah,
it
no,
doesn't
I'm
hurt
just
to have
messing around. But at the same time, what do you do if you're Minnesota? Like, do you try and move on from JJ McCarthy at the end of the year if Darnold takes you to the playoffs? That's gonna be a tough one.
That's a tough one. But I think history has proven you go with the hot hand, right? History's proven that you go with the guy that's like, there's no reason to go back in the other direction. And you just, you leverage McCarthy for something that you need. Darnold's going to get paid.
Yeah, I mean, if you were to just line up these two teams, where would you say Denver's advantage is?
Against Buffalo?
Yeah.
I think they have the better defense. And this isn't a tangible, but I think that I think the pressure factor will force Josh Allen into some of his worst demons, his mistake-ridden demons. And I think for those two reasons, I definitely think the Broncos have a better defense though. So with that being said, you have a puncher's chance. And I just think that the pressure is one of those things that it's going to, when you have as good a defense as the Broncos have, you're going to force him into doing things that we've seen him do that have kept him from taking that next leap.
Gerard brings up a great point. How about Vele's touchdown? What fun was that? That was crazy.
That scoop.
I wasn't even looking
one
at the
knee. Like, don't let the ball hit the ground. One knee in. That scoop. And I'm telling you, like, the fact that he's 26 and a rookie, and it's like, I think we're going to be hearing from Devon for a long time. It's giving me easy Ed McCaffrey. It's giving easy Ed McCaffrey vibes.
Sean Payton close behind Kevin O'Connell did take, but close only counts in, what is that?
Horseshoes and hand
grenades. Boom. Boom. I got half of it. That's what teamwork is there.
That's right. It's the dream work.
You knock it down.
I got
you
your
knock
back.
it down. Yeah, tip drill. Yeah, it was a sick tip drill. It was. I looked up and I went, oh,
I heard you celebrating and I'm like, what happened? Then I had to wait for the delay. I was feeling real D-Mac-ish.
Yeah, by the way, I know we're all fired up, but again, just the same as I'm going to tell all Broncos country, don't be writing off Patrick Mahomes after a shitty regular season. Those guys are going for, they could have been in 6 straight. They're going for 5 in the last 6.
That's the Midwest responsible in you talking, Matt. Don't nobody want to hear that shit right now, man.
And you know what else I'm going to say?
What?
You got to think that way about Josh Allen, too. You may not be scared of Buffalo, but that's
Josh where
Allen.
I disagree with you. This one, I do disagree with you. I'm a feel guy, but I know enough about Josh Allen, and that's not to take away from his talent. Mm-hmm. I just know enough about his postseason exploits to know that in the big games, you got those nut up guys. Like think James Harden. That class of guy who's just like, yeah, regular season wizard. But for whatever reason, come the postseason, this dude's nuts go straight into his belly. And that is until
not
you
at home.
Me wrong.
Not
until
at home.
Prove me wrong.
He's 5-2 at home in the playoffs. He's 5-2. His only losses came last year to Mahomes in the divisional round. And then 2 years before that, they lost to Joe Burrow at home. But outside of that, he beat the Colts in 21.
The Colts.
Yeah. Well, I'm just going through his record.
I got you.
He's 5-2. And then they hosted Baltimore. So then he beat Lamar.
Young Lamar.
And then in 22, that was New England. That wasn't Brady?
No.
Brady?
No, because Brady was already in Tampa.
Well, that was 122. So that would have been from the year before. Or no, that was 22. So he beat New England. Right. Then because Mac Jones. Did Mac Jones take him to the playoffs in the first year? Yeah, okay. I just had to remember. And then the next year it was Miami. They beat Tua because I remember that. Because Tua was freezing cold. You remember that game? It was
vague, yes,
yeah.
Vaguely.
And then they beat the Steelers. So look, I mean, he's beaten a lot of guys.
He's beaten a lot of guys.
Lowest remaining.
I don't know if he's beaten a lot of greats, but he's beaten a lot of guys, and he's got wins under his belt. But I don't know, man. We'll see. Obviously, they're going to play the game.
Well, here's what I know for sure. The Broncos have the toughest route to the Super Bowl of any team in the fucking NFL because you got to go to Buffalo and to Kansas City. Strap it on, boys.
YOLO. You only live once. Let's fucking go. LFG.
Good point, Evan. Tua didn't play. It was Skylar Thompson that day. I remember that. It wasn't Tua. Tua was freezing in Kansas City. I switched it up.
So who's Josh Allen really beat to this 5-2 postseason? Come on.
At home? Yeah, I guess. We lost by a kick in Arrowhead. I'm not saying they can't do it. Understand that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying they still have the toughest road, at least on paper, no?
Yes. But that's why they play the.
Oh, was that the wind game from Mac Jones? Do you remember that? The one where it was like wind was blowing like 100 miles an hour? That might have been that game. Now that I think about it. Mahomes never beat TB12, so he'll never beat the GOAT. Oh, well, I'm not crowning Mahomes the GOAT. Are you?
No. I mean, it's TB12 until his numbers are taken down. And even then, it's like I think he ran through
Come on, guys.
a different brand of NFL.
We're Broncos fans. We're Broncos country. We're well aware of who Tom Brady was and what he could do. Okay? Like, let's just and this is the other part. I think Fishin brings up a good point here. It's like, hey, where you do have to kind of throw some of those expectations out is that it is just a new environment. You know what I mean? It just is. So does Bo go with a glove? No, not at all.
That's a man. Eric, I think Eric has the point that I'm making. I would rather see Buffalo in the first round than see Baltimore.
Amen.
Yeah. And that's one of those where it's like, if anybody's prone for that slip up, I'll take Lamar late because I don't think he can beat Patrick. It's just that thing.
Jonathan brings up a good point. I stopped that hardest path to the Super Bowl at 2 because you might have to go 2 Buffalo, 2 KC, and then 2 Baltimore.
God. The gauntlet. Then it's just like, who? Detroit? Who gives a shit? Who? Minnesota? I don't care.
All right, Broncos.
Billy, don't care.
Chad, I got to ask you. So with that being said, what are you okay with? What are your expectations here?
That's a great question. Like,
if
are
they
you
go
just
get
happy
their asses kicked next week,
are you just happy to be dancing?
Right. If they go get their ass kicked next week, do you care?
You better care. If they go get their ass kicked next weekend, I think it borderlines. Well, no. Okay, let me stop. I was about to say something very obtuse. I was going to say it borderlines on disappointment. It's not disappointment, but I think it's a missed opportunity if you get your ass kicked. It's like CU getting their ass handed to them by BYU. Did it matter in the long run? No. But it didn't leave the taste in your mouth that you wanted to end the season with. Coming into, the end of the Shedeur era, the end of the Travis Hunter era, that was not the showing that you wanted. So I think if you go to Buffalo and you get your ass handed to you, it kind of looks like, oh, well, what business do we have being there? Go and play a strong game. If you lose in a close one, you can hold your head high. If you get your ass kicked, I think that is more than a disappointment. I won't call the season a failure because we all know they're playing with house money, but it's the opportunities in front of you. So that's my take. What's the chat say?
Close game. No one wants to see him get blown out, which I understand. And I like Jonathan's word here. They would be annoyed getting blown out.
Yeah.
I like that point of it. Well, if that wasn't the biggest KC middle finger to the who's your dad in Cincinnati, they got their number, huh?
They got to be pissed in Cincinnati.
Well, they shouldn't have lost the fucking Patriots in week 1. That's your fault. Shouldn't have lost to Jacoby Brissett in week 1. Lost me money that day, dude.
I saw it in your face. Yeah. I'm like, there's more there. Hold on, Matt. Go deeper. There's more. There's more there.
Buffalo's a shithole and they never win anything. Ask D. No. See, and I'm going to bring this up for the chat who's now fresh around. We're not asking D-Mac a fucking thing about Buffalo.
Not about Buffalo.
You're not going to have to.
He's going to have it all.
Willingly he's going to have it all offer that information.
You're going to be hearing about it from tonight all the way through game time. Every Buffalo happenstance in the D-Mac arsenal.
First rookie quarterback to take the Broncos to the playoffs since Elway. Let that hit for a second. I'm listening to Bo with Tracy Wolfson. He just carries himself well, man. He's a pro.
That is the deal for me. You can always tell how
knock him off either,
No, it's the way he comports himself. And then you remember that's a 5-year guy. That's a 5-year college guy. Like, he's not a kid. So there not all rookies are equal, and some are ready to step in and actually be a guy that can contribute in bigger ways than just, oh, I'm helping the coach along, I'm helping the system along. Like, no, there's a large part of the success that's geared off of how he comports himself as a leader and on the field playing the game. So it's only the seam routes that I see that he throws that I feel terrible about his throws. Everything else, he can make all the throws, and he makes plays with his feet that I'm just like, that's going to be a problem for a lot of defenses for a long time to come. That's going to be a problem.
Let me ask you, if you had the choice to have a bye with this team or to just play next week, if you had the choice,
just play.
Right. So it worked out, right?
Yeah.
Like,
rhythm.
This is a year you wouldn't want the bye.
No.
You
just
know what
play.
I mean? Yeah. Keep the momentum rolling, right?
Keep the momentum going. Especially after those 3, kind of heart-wrenching losses. Once you get the win in your mouth, you don't want to sit with nothing. I just want to keep going.
Ray says he thinks he's going to be close at half and then turn bad, but I don't care. That's kind of what I'm saying. Like, are we going to sit there? I know I know this is going to be the reaction from Broncos country because it typically is. Are you going to sit there and throw your, computer at the wall if they lose next week because you're so angry? Or are you going to be like, are you going to be able to sit there and go, okay,
that's
good step
right.
step this year.
Right.
Like
that hurt a bit, but it's okay. We're going to be all right here. That stung. Ouch.
You see, Joe Justin says he'll have a Buffalo boner talking about D-Mac. You're fucking right. He will.
Big
Anything.
time.
Yeah. Buffalo. Did you know that I used to live there? And do
right. Here, let's pull up MapQuest. Where'd you go, Matt? Where'd Matt go? We lost Matt. Matt will be back.
I don't know what happened there. That was weird.
What the hell happened?
I don't know what just happened there. That was my fault.
Yeah,
that was my fault. All is well. I won, and so did Denver. Attaboy, Sam. Sam checked in the chat. Absolutely. Ask D-Mac about selling to Jim Kelly a snowmobile.
Yeah.
I can't hear that story
He's
one
got
more
so
time.
many Jim Kelly stories.
Do you know where he got that snowmobile? On The Price is Right.
Really?
Yeah. He won it on The Price is Right. Do you not know the story? Oh, fuck.
No.
I'm glad that he didn't hear that because here we would go into that story. Be 20 minutes. Let's see. But you should ask him one day. You should ask him one day. Let's see. Eric says we're playing with house money. Everyone expects us to lose big. Any other outcome is a W. Are they expected to lose big?
I don't know if everyone, like Vegas will tell the tale on what everyone expects, but I can't see that line getting set at some blowout number that would reflect everyone expecting them to lose big. I just don't see it.
We heard it so many times, so it's a great story. I won and lost that parlay about 3 different times. That's the beauty of gambling, right? That's why they call it the sweat. That's why they call it the sweat it out.
Keep your money in your pocket.
Good point.
7.5 is a big line.
Yeah. And good point by Jonathan, by the way. Cincinnati started 0-3. You're mad you didn't make the playoffs? Maybe show up in the month of September.
Well, they had a couple of heart-wrenching, losses, 5 points.
That's the way it fucking goes.
But that's how it goes. It's not anybody's problem. Your first problem is that you're in Cincinnati. There's that. You got bigger fish to fry.
This is an interesting point that Fishin brings up. The goalpost has moved too far. If this is a failure in anyone's eyes, 100%. If you are like flaming mad next week if they lose, then you've moved it too far. I agree.
Yeah,
with that. I agree with that.
You need Xanax.
Good graces now, Fishin.
Yeah, you need Xanax. You're playing with house money. There's no reason to expect that's wackadoo. That's what we call those fans wackadoos. You know what I mean? There's no reason to expect like, oh, the Broncos are odds-on favorites to do anything. But the situation that they're in, I like where they're positioned. All the pressure, there's no pressure here on them at all through this postseason run. And that's where you kind of want to be so the guys can play free.
Sean is I'm listening to a clip of Sean.
Where'd you go?
You guys come together.
Okay.
I think it's what did he say? Hold on. I wanted to hear this message. He says it's pretty amazing when you get the right group of people what you can do. Young and hungry is dangerous. That's what he said at the beginning of the year. Young and hungry is dangerous. That's what he started the year with, and that's what he's ending the year with.
He knows
is dangerous.
He knows what he's been through these fires, and I think he smells blood in the water. And be the forgotten about, be the team that people underestimate, be the team with nothing to lose. young and hungry does have its advantages over all the other things because it truly is no pressure time. It's like, what the fuck? We've
No
already
pressure.
eclipsed all of our expectations.
No pressure, no expectation. None whatsoever. Not at all. I think that's the beauty of it. And when you look at where they've come from last year, look at the job that Vance Joseph has done. Kind of settling things down, carrying over the momentum with that defense into this season. Kind of played a little bit better there at the end of the year last year after the debacle in Miami, and then kind of sacked up and got it together. And they went out and made those moves. They brought in the Franklin Myers. They brought in Roach. They went out and drafted Abrams Drain. Corner depth is significantly better this year, right? Riley Moss, now healthy, has been a significant impact player for them. Surtain is at the top of his game.
Right.
Benito and Cooper, I mean, not only did you hit with both those two guys, you grand slam with both of those two guys.
Their production just sacked the totals alone. Yeah.
So when you're strapped with Russ's dead cap, you got to have some guys hit in the back of the draft. And they did this year, which is a huge reason why they are where they are, because that front seven, I mean, compared to what it was last year, do you remember the way Miami ran all over them?
Yeah, it looked that was bad. Was embarrassing. Yeah. Let me ask you this, because, you know, for all it's worth, Russ came in and there were high expectations because of the pedigree. But I don't think anybody who saw the product on the field ever thought that the Broncos, like, which team do you feel better about in terms of their quarterback play? Obviously, it's the Broncos under a rookie quarterback. Don't you feel better about this Broncos team and their offense and their prospects as opposed to the vaunted Russell Wilson with the, you know, pedigree and all that?
You mean their offense this year compared to last year?
I'm just talking about the team as general from a leadership standpoint.
Yeah, Russ isn't here. They got rid of that bum. Yeah. They got rid of that soy boy.
The chuckle, baby.
I couldn't hear any more of those. I mean, nothing against him. He seems like a nice dude.
It's contrived.
It's all fake. And I was so sick of that, as all of us were. And that is the absolute opposite of what Bo and Sean are. They're as real as it gets, right? They're you know, and it's not a knock really against Russ, because I think he's a competitor. It's just the way he goes about his business is not relatable. And if you're not good enough to lift everyone else around you at this point, then you're just that dude in the locker room. It's not really all that relatable. You got some name brand value to you, but, you know, it's tough to really assimilate, you know, in that type of environment. And I think, honestly, that Pittsburgh environment, I was pretty surprised he meshed as well as he did right away.
Yeah, because I didn't see him and Tomlin getting along like that.
Yeah, it did. I thought Tomlin would see right through a little bit of that stuff too. But maybe he's that father figure that Russ has kind of been craving for a long time. You know, Russ's dad passed away when he was young, and, you know, there was that life coach that had just recently passed away. So maybe Tomlin was kind of that guiding arm that helped him and maybe was straight with him a little bit. But whatever.
Not our problem
here. Not our problem at all.
Not our problem.
And last night he could have offered the Broncos a little bit of help, and he didn't, right? So if it comes to the Broncos, so okay, Eric, you're absolutely wrong. Cooper's a solid triple. He's a 7th round draft pick.
Yeah,
are you out of your damn mind?
When you get great production out of a seventh rounder, it's always a home run.
Don't be greedy and stupid. I don't know what else to say about that.
That's Bronco fan, man. Some Broncos fans
greedy and stupid is right. Clip that and put that out there. That is so true. Like, you what are you talking about? He's a 7th. I remember talking to Mike Kliss about that at the beginning of the year, because there was a piece that came out from ESPN by Aaron Schatz that was essentially saying if there was one move that you could make before the season, it would be to extend Jonathan Cooper. And I remember and Nick Benito, I think it was. But at the beginning of the year, I remember thinking to myself, really? Cooper right now? Like, don't you want to let him prove it a little bit? And then I remember talking to Kliss about it. Kliss was like, hey, I mean, how much more are you going to get out of a 7th rounder? He had 8 sacks last year. He maximized just about what you're going to get out of the 7th round. And he's been, I mean, you could make an argument he's been better this year. Right? I mean, how many numbers does he have? I'm looking at his numbers now, but he had a hell of a season again. He had another sack today. 9.5 sacks, if that's updated. 9.5. You kidding me?
That's a solid triple in some Broncos.
A solid triple out of a rounder.
Leg one out, huh? That's just legging one out.
Exactly. And then the other part of this is the offensive line that was probably their strongest unit last year has carried over. And when we talk about the grand experiment, when you look at what Chicago did with Caleb, you brought in why am I blanking on his name? Keenan Allen. You drafted Roma Dunze. You have DJ Moore. You bring in DeAndre Swift, and you surround a guy like that with a ton of different offensive weapons. Whereas the Broncos didn't do that at all.
None of that.
In fact, but you didn't give them an offensive line, really. And in Denver, it's like the exact opposite. You got a bunch of kind of like, bargain bin, no name skill positions for the most part. And you've got a great offensive line that's a high price tag. You spent a bunch of money last year on, spent over $100 million in 2 contracts just last season alone in 2 free agent additions. And then you paid Quinn Miners, right? So, and then you paid Bolsey. So you've locked up that line. And if you look at which way was kind of more effective, Caleb was running for his life all year long, and the Bears were fucking awful as a result. So
I mean, it's the Shadur Sanders sort of thought experiment, which is a great quarterback can look super, super, super average and make terrible decisions if he doesn't have time to do shit.
Mm-hmm.
And a guy who's just got here might not know everything there is about coming up and reading defenses and all that, but if he's a leader and he's got a head on his shoulders, if he's got time, he'll make plays. And yeah, the difference between Caleb and I think that's a perfect comparison. The difference between the two dudes is night and day. And you're talking about one guy who does have what you would call also ran talent at the skill positions, but he's doing a lot with it. And again, it makes those guys look really brilliant. You know what I mean? Can you get Devon Vele to be the type of guy that plays himself into sort of like should he be mentioned for Pro Bowl going forward? He makes plays.
Well, we'll see. It's early for that. There's 2 things I wanted to hit on the chat. Trigger warning is right. Bo Nix won the draft.
Fuck yeah.
Broncos
got him at 12. It's just like how many quarterbacks went before him? 1, 2,
5.
5 quarterbacks before him. You got him at 12. It's like, yeah, he won the draft.
So are you guys saying that Cooper's worth max contract money? No, that's not what we're saying. Jesus.
Eric.
We're just trying to tell you that they already paid him a significant contract extension because he was a 7th round pick who's been an absolute beast for them. That is a grand slam in the 7th round. How many better 7th round draft picks can you think of?
Eric's well, I mean, Terrell
Tom
Davis.
Brady.
Eric's one of those. Eric seems like one of those guys who you can't give him a little bit of success. He only expects the best.
That's right. Yeah. Mims, I like trigger warning bringing up a good point here. Mims is huge to their development here, right? Like having that gadget guy that can be effective. That was Sean Payton's first draft pick for the Broncos, and now they're starting to figure out how to use him because he was AWOL in training camp. And at the beginning of the season, it was like, where the fuck is Marvin Mims? You went out every day to camp. You're like, fuck. I mean, he's invisible compared to some of these other guys.
Sure.
And his kind of emergence mid-season to what he is now, he had 2 touchdowns today. That's a huge versatile piece that you can have. And it kind of goes back to, and I'll give Cecil credit because Cecil said that at the beginning of the year, like you got a lot of, unproven guys, but it doesn't mean you don't have talent. And that's coming true at the end of the year, kind of because the cream has risen to the top to a degree.
Yeah. And that, I mean, I don't know, the NFL evaluation process obviously is extensive. They do their homework. They know who the guys are, but it almost feels better to see Bo Nix work it out with guys that, like, I know they still need that tight end position. They still need that outlet. They haven't figured that one out, but to work it out with guys who themselves have something to prove and play their way up into. So you're always getting surprised. Could Cortland Sutton not drop a few, balls that you're really like, that's one of those ones, Court, where you got to hold on to that? Sure. But for the most part, he's been a reliable number 1 for them. And then you get the surprise of the production that you get out of Devon. And I'm just a Marvin Mims fan, so I just felt like it was only a matter of time. I do think that, Audric Estime is their best shot at running back if you just make your adjustments in how you're going to use him, as opposed to looking at your offense and saying, this is what we do this. What does he do well between the tackles? And he gives you the ability to run play action, which opens up a world of hurt for defenses where apparently Bo Nix is a dangerous man, which is outside of the pocket. So
This is so
that's
dumb.
my deal.
This is so dumb. This is the dumbest thing you said yet, Eric. Drop it. The Grand Slam draft pick is worth max contract money. Yeah,
What?
that's not how the
when you
league
draft
works.
a guy in the
Bob.
7th round, it's
That's
supposed
the
to be.
craziest thing. Russ is fake in public. I would have liked to know the real Russ. No, you wouldn't have. No, you wouldn't.
No, you wouldn't. I have it on good authority because of people that have been close enough to the circle. It's a lot of smoke there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of smoke.
Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah. Oh, Matt with double T's. The fan just drops dudes without a bye. Hey, man. Their loss, I guess. Maybe it's time for Tomlin to part ways with them, but odds of what part ways with who? What are you talking about? Tomlin with the Steelers?
Tomlin and the Steelers, but
yeah.
In lieu of who?
Okay, so I want to. Justin brings up a good point. Russ looks like hot garbage again. This is exactly why Sean looked and evaluated Russ and said we have to go in a different direction.
Bye.
We can only win 8 to 10 with him. He'll never be good enough when it matters most to beat the best, Oren, right?
Without question. And I think oftentimes what you're seeing with Russ is because of the name recognition. I think he's given credit for team wins. Let's say it like that. I don't think he's been that guy since the days when, they were riding out in Seattle. And quite honestly, I think he would have stunted this organization's growth in any organization that he's with. It's almost the Aaron Rodgers effect, which is you're just waiting for something to return that's not coming back, and it's only going to get worse.
Bo showed everyone why pressure is a privilege. We need shirts made. That should be the theme of the playoff run.
When he said that, bro.
Yeah.
When he said that, I was like, God damn, that's a bar.
Yeah.
Pressure is a privilege. That's a leadership. That's a guy who's like 11 years from now, 10 years from now, 7 years from now, you're looking down, you're like, God damn, we've got a hell of a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And it's things like that. Pressure's a privilege is one. Yeah, that definitely needs to be on a shirt.
Shout out to everybody. Get yourselves in the chat. Fire away with questions. Now's a good time for Q&A. Got over close to 3,000 in here. I love it. I love to see it. Absolutely.
Russell Wilson is a politician. Exactly.
Yeah. If you want me to be really honest, I think we're the only team that can upset KC and KC. Buffalo and Baltimore struggle with KC and KC. Yeah,
it was within a field goal. You were within a field goal shot this year, and that was against the vaunted.
I respect that, but they haven't been to KC in the playoffs.
True.
Not in a long time. So
prove it. You got to prove it. It always
not
comes down
in the
to
Mahomes era. And until that happens, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely do. But again, you said it earlier. I didn't, so I'm just gonna ride the wave.
Yeah.
They've played a lot of postseason football, bro.
Oh, I know. They played a lot.
And that could be, this could be that year when it's just like, I'm fucking tired.
I know.
I'm tired.
I know.
I don't want it. You know what I mean? I don't care to be in New Orleans this year. I'm trying to get the motor started.
Well,
I'm trying to get it going, and I just don't have it. I'm trying to get it going, but it's not in the tank. I don't have it. That's all I'm saying.
Mahomes is 10-2 at Arrowhead in his playoff career, and the only 2 losses were to Burrow and Brady. So before we go put Bo Nix on a pedestal, let's make sure that we all acknowledge as much, right? I mean, like that's a big part of this as well.
Jason Lane makes a point. We got so many people in here, only 47 likes. Just hit the like button. It's the easiest thing that you can do. Just hit the like.
Hit the like we
button.
Appreciate that, guys.
It's super easy.
If you're watching on YouTube, that is.
That's if you're on YouTube.
We got all these formats blasting out, so we appreciate.
Yeah, but we've only got one guy who had a parlay going that was on Twitter that I believe. I only seen one guy.
Yeah, well, I'm sure. Yeah, who cashed? Who laid the 10.5 for the Broncos? I'd be curious to know. Did anybody in here do that? I'd be curious. How glad are we that we didn't get Aaron Rodgers? Oh,
I remember hearing the talk, and I was like, "You don't want that. You got to stop this trend. You gotta stick your feet in the ground and develop a guy. You don't want that." So glad that they didn't pull the trigger or even investigate that. As far as
he would have torn him down.
He
might have been past the point of no return.
Bro, the way this season unfolded for him, and you get your coach fired, like, I like Aaron. I like the wild card of it. I like the ayahuasca. It's a man after my own heart in many ways. But he is almost borderline bad team guy. He's borderline bad team guy, especially when you're not playing well, because then he just scapegoats everybody. So, yeah, no.
Can somebody tell me when the Broncos-Bills game is next weekend? I'm pretty sure – I don't know that we have an official schedule. At least I haven't seen it yet. I haven't been browsing around on Twitter. But as far as I'm aware, I think it might be the early game. I think it might
feels
be.
Like it's well. Wait, yeah, no, they would have to probably be the late game, right? Because it's East Coast. Would they play the early
other
game?
Way around?
Is it? Oh, it's the other. Yeah, right.
Yeah. I did that. He Fishing laid 10.5 for the free money. Love that. Attaboy.
Of course you did, Fishing.
I'm with Andon. Aaron Rodgers is an asshole. Like, good for him with all that ayahuasca. I don't give a shit. That guy's such a, as to use D-Max.
You guys don't
weasel turd.
He's misunderstood. He's misunderstood. He has other interests. He's like
misunderstood. No, he's fucking not. He wants you to think he's misunderstood so he can prove to you how fucking deep he is. In fact, he's not. He's just a weasel.
No, it's when you get those guys that bring philosophy into the sports world. Sometimes, yes, they'll act like the smartest guy in the room because it's a bunch of dumb jocks. But I think I think Aaron Rodgers is wildly misunderstood. I really do.
What don't I understand about him? His
because
whole fucking family hates him. Every woman he ever dates is a piece of shit.
Maybe his family. If you ever stop to think, maybe his family's full of assholes. And he's the only guy.
Because I've heard him talk. He's a fucking loser, dude. I don't know what to say. He's been great on the football field. He was the Bears' daddy for his entire career, and I respect the hell out of the guy. He's one of the best quarterbacks of all time. But on a personal level, fuck him.
Yeah, most of it I'm attached to the result on the field.
Yeah, look, I mean, hey, I'm glad that he's open-minded, and I don't mind a natural way of experimenting with life. But I mean, come on, dude. Like,
he's the football, not he's the.
He brought a camera into a private ayahuasca experience,
which is
prove to you how fucking deep he was.
Right. When I saw that, I was like,
misunderstood.
Maybe there's something to these asshole rumors. Why is there a like everybody's in here trying to have their moment, and you're filming?
Yeah, no way. No way. That's hilarious.
Oh, man.
That's hilarious. The other part I think we should bring up is the fact that we talked about tight end at the beginning of the year a lot because a lot of conversation was made about Greg Dulcich, right? And Lucas Kroll. Who would it be? Well, Troutman and Nate Adkins at the end of the year have it emerged as those two dudes. And Nate Adkins, I mean, last year as the undrafted rookie, what was it? South Dakota State, North Dakota State, one of the Dakotas. He was a guy that as that H-back, you could see being like, okay, that's a Peyton guy. You know what I mean? He had to bring his dudes in here to run his stuff. Look at Adkins. He had a couple catches today, I'm pretty sure, and he's had some big moments over the last couple of weeks. I
think that because no one has, and what you'll have to remind me of the guy that they had in New Orleans that was more like a receiver that ran that H-back. Because of the success that Sean Payton has had in his offense, and it seems very dependent upon having someone that flashes in that position. I think that, what was his name?
Taysom Hill, are you talking about?
Not Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill was like that jack of all trades. I'm talking about during the Super Bowl years, light skinned cat. It's going to escape me. It's going to escape me.
Jimmy Graham?
Jimmy Graham.
Yeah,
I think that you're still looking for a guy who flashes because that seems like it's a big part of Sean Payton's offense. I think it's why the Broncos running game is why he doesn't trust or go to the running game as much. There's just something to it. And I don't think I think old habits die hard with these coaches because no one's flashed in that. I do think that it's a problem spot that he's been looking to fill, but you would know better than I if there's a guy with the talent enough to maybe play his way up into that role on the roster right now.
I don't know. I think they're not done at tight end. When you go watch Tyler Warren at Penn State, you're like, oh, shit, that guy would be. I mean, that guy would be awesome to have
for sure.
Awesome to have. But at the same time, you're going to have to move up to go get a guy like that, especially now that you're in the playoffs. You're not going to be in his range. Right. However, there's a couple guys like I like Jalen Conyers out of Texas Tech. I don't know if he's coming out this year, but he's a big dude. You know, kind of like one of those Jared Wiley. He came out of TCU last year. Chiefs took him, and like they need a couple guys like that. But what the best part is that Sean isn't afraid to go there and to try some of those undrafted like H-back type of guys. You know, who might be overlooked, like the Michael Burton. There's a reason why Michael Burton is on this team because he's a valuable asset in a Sean Payton offense. You have to have that to be able to do what Sean wants to do in different formations with running the football and certainly with kind of how they attack and move the pocket. And so I wish Coach Prime would take a page out of his book with that if they wanted to be serious about running the ball up in Boulder, being honest with you. So, I think Sean's starting to get more comfortable in year two now that he has more of his guys here. It's looking
like it. And, you know, that halftime speech, I mean, that post-game speech, young guys, nothing to lose. It's like, I think he smells blood in the water. And that, I think that could be problematic. It definitely seems like something that will rejuvenate a guy who's been there before. And so he knows what he knows what it feels like in a locker room where it's heading in the right direction.
Yeah.
adding pieces always seems a lot easier when you have your core locked down. You broke down the offensive line. I think they've got the defense that it takes. Now you've got your quarterback, and I think one of two of your skill position players, I think, are going to be a large part of the picture going forward. Whether it's Vele or Sut, I don't know, but Marvin Mims ain't going nowhere. Obviously,
Yeah.
they're in great position. I think they're in great position, like house money, great position.
You know who had a big day? It was Cortland Sutton in the first half. Hit his
I love it.
bonuses for a guy. You know what the Broncos did? They said, okay, we're willing to give you a little bit more money that you want, because that was the whole holdout thing. He wanted to get paid a little bit more because he knew that this was his best opportunity and the only leverage he's ever had in his career. And the Broncos didn't really blink. They were like, hey, look, this is what we're going to do. But what did they do? Do you remember what they did? They threw him a bone with those incentives, and he just hit him today because he had a big year. So it motivated him to be here, to be invested, to be a part of that team. Here's some tangibles. Here's some achievables that you can go get. And you do that, we want to pay you. You know what I mean? Like, the Broncos are thrilled to have to pay those incentives.
Listen, football has it right out of all the sports. You know why it's exciting to watch? It sucks for players. I know that the Players Association does its best to work out the best deals, but incentive-laden contracts tend to bring out the best in guys who are deserving of it. You know what I mean? And you don't run into this situation that you see in Major League Baseball or in the NBA, when it's like, once the money's locked in, it's like, you know what I mean? What incentive do I have to really work for it? And it works in football like in no other situation. And so, yeah, it played out exactly how you want it to play out with a guy like Cortland Sutton, because you bet the farm on a guy who has shown the propensity to drop pretty important passes. And then you're like, But you put the incentives in there, and now his focus is different. And
100%.
Yeah. I thought that, I think that they played that one as good as you can play it. It's an interesting dance. I like watching organizations who know how to do it properly with their rosters. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're waiting to hear, I think, from DMAC, by the way. Sean and Cortland and Bo spoke. I'll be curious to hear what they have to say. But the Broncos, after an 8-year playoff drought, 8-season playoff drought, they're in the playoffs. And it just feels like the amount of people and Broncos fans that I got a chance to connect with just doing that job for the last couple of years and being on the radio every day, and for the most part, and understanding, how frustrated and upset people were because of the bad plans that were laid out. And finally, they just said, we're going to have to find a way to do this the right way.
Right.
And some of us thought that maybe it was early, but Sean was convicted. And if there's one thing that you want, if you're going to hand Sean Payton the keys, it's for him to make decisions with full conviction. And he certainly did that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And, early on, sniffing out the whole Russell Wilson, that's not my guy type thing, allowed them to hit a quick reset and be ready for a draft where he was able to target a guy. They were able to target a guy who was their guy. The centerpiece of every championship organization in the NFL is the quarterback. I don't give a damn, what else you have. All the other pieces are window dressing, unless you're talking about that Tampa Bay team that was able to win with and also ran. It's like, that really set the tone. And I like confident Sean Payton. I'm not too big on the guy, but it seemed like early this season he was a little maybe too gruff with his rookie quarterback. But I mean, he's gotten the production that he wanted out of him. You know what I mean? And now them two in concert, it feels, I don't know what it felt like in New Orleans to see Sean Payton and Drew Brees, saddled up together. But it's another one of those reasons why I think Bronco Nation, listen, in Denver, it will never, ever be not the Broncos. And so it sometimes, to a hyper extent, we've had guys in here, you got people that want to complain about whether or not they go and win or lose in Buffalo, and whether or not a 7th round pick is like, the Broncos are it. And so no fan base can be sometimes more delusional, but rarely I think there are other fan bases. I'm here in Baltimore, and I'm basically outside of Baltimore. Trust me, it's even as good as the Ravens are. They're not locked in like Bronco fans. So is
that right?
Yeah, for sure. I think it all has to do with
crazy with all the
nothing ventured, nothing gained. Well, you got a hold of a team that you didn't know what you had, or you knew what you had, and then they won a Super Bowl, and then they were bad for years, and then they were good. I just see it on the ground here. Like they're more Redskins. They're more Redskins fans in this sort of amalgamation of the DMV than there are Ravens fans for whatever reason.
While we're just killing time waiting for DMAC to hop on with us after the press conferences conclude, if you got any questions or comments, jump in. Somebody says, "Wait, are you guys still live?" Yeah, we're still live. Yeah.
Tell your daughter that the Golden Globes are on.
Hey, dog, Broncos just made the playoffs. Yeah, we're still fucking live. Okay. Hey, let me hop off just for a quick sec.
Handle your business.
This is a really good point, though. The guy who I might be the most happy for is Garrett Bowles. You're damn straight. You're damn straight. That's a guy who has been Broncos through and through, man. He rides for this team. I mean, even kind of embarrassingly so sometimes in some of the down years. You know, it's like, all right, Garrett, you might want to take a beat on being so, but no, man, he rides all the time. I do feel good for him. I'll be right back.
Got you. I agree with Oren. I'm always going to read it. I agree with Oren. I live in Raleigh, North Carolina. People are not as passionate as they are in Broncos country. It's not even comparable. I've been in DMV is crazy. DMV is wild. SP is a genius. He broadcasted last year at this time. Caleb Williams was a generational talent, throwing the entire league off the Knicks scent. Oh, you think that was okay? He knew what he wanted. He knew he wanted him last season. You saw that, and you saw that. You think that there was a bit of Machiavellian priming in that? Okay, we're not reading that one out loud. I'm the only one that gets to cuss here. 100% Andon. Fishing and Andon are getting along. Beyond what? Fix your spelling there. So be honest with yourself, Bronc. While Matt is away, give me your fishing. By the way, you calm it down. A little less smug. We could do it a little less smug. That's because Lamar can't be trusted in the playoffs. Exactly. Honestly, when I'm looking at this playoff field in the AFC, the only quarterback that I trust to do his job, there are two. Patrick Mahomes and Bo Nix. The other two guys, as I see it, I don't know what you said. I just like giving you shit. As I see it, the other two guys just have playoff flaws. I'm a basic guy. You guys go into the numbers. I love hearing it. I'm a basic. I just go off feel. And the way this feels, this sets up for what would be considered upsets because of you're coming in, you're playing the guys who play for the teams, and those teams are the teams that everybody expects to be there in the end. But what's their track record been up until this point? And, maybe it was, pressure is a privilege. Fishing was giving me shit for saying that I thought that maybe Spencer Rattler should have been the Broncos quarterback. I just liked his mobility, and it seemed like playmaking ability. It still remains to be seen whether he'll be a quarterback down there in New Orleans. All I'm saying is that Bo Nix has done nothing but prove me not only wrong, but prove himself and Sean Payton right all season. When asked to step up, when asked to step forward, I can't say that there's not something. Matt, can you tell me a time when he hasn't really met the challenge this year? And I know it's his rookie season, but I'm saying it just seems like as the pressure got bigger, he got better. And it was the Broncos defense down the stretch who really failed them. It wasn't. And I think Sean Payton's play calling at times.
Yeah, I would agree with you. In college, in some of the bigger games, and certainly college is different, but in some of the bigger games, he was just as good, but Penix was a little bit better in that Pac-12 championship game last year, so he didn't really have a chance to showcase it on the national scale to a real degree. So I would just say maybe a little bit unproven, but certainly in the regular season, he made the plays that he needed to make to get the job done, and the Broncos are in the dance, right? I mean, I don't know how much more you can really ask for. I feel like any more than that would just be
delusional.
Yeah, and as Fishin brought up earlier, anybody who would be disappointed with that has moved the goalpost too far from where they were to start the season.
Well, and that's the only reason why I said then you go into this postseason with a quarterback that's playing like that. This is not your this is not your garden variety rookie then. And all things considered, somebody had mentioned it before, the two quarterbacks, I mean, between Lamar and Josh, there's just so much pressure on those guys' shoulders. I'm interested to see how this plays out for the Broncos in the postseason. All things considered, playing with house money, I'm just interested to see how this plays out in their favor when all the pressure is on the other guys and your guy is responsible and has proven that as the stakes gotten higher, he's kind of kicked his game up a notch. He's picked up different things, and we've just seen different things from him each week. Damn near each week, he's just really stepped further and further into what I'm saying good company as far as being, okay, that's an NFL starting quarterback. That's a guy who's going to be in the position for a long time.
Nick's held his own versus Penix. Yeah, Penix just got him at the end a little bit. This one I thought was interesting. Do we really have a 20% chance on the road at the Bills? What do you mean by that? Where are you getting that?
Yeah, where did you get that number?
I don't understand.
Where's the number?
Understand that. But the other thing I wanted to say is Cortland just got up and spoke, and you got to again with just like Bolsey.
What did he say? What did he say?
No, I'm just saying with Sutton, like that's a guy who's never sniffed the playoffs before. This is a brand new experience for this entire team. So in many ways, a close game would be nice, but even if they do lose by like double digits next week, I'm not going to have too many reservations on it, if I'm just being honest with you. I mean, this is a brand new experience for everybody.
Yeah.
Except for Sean Payton.
Which, again...
How many guys on the team have even been to the playoffs?
Well, but, I mean, luckily for you, your head guy hasn't just been there. He's won it all.
Right.
And that's, it's a team effort. Okay. Everybody on board. And now you can actually look at your head coach and he can at least reassure you that, I know what I'm doing. Do what I say do, and we'll be great.
Basically, and it's more like from a leadership perspective and starting to turn the culture, you have to have those guys in the room. And because Cortland did make the decision and the Broncos threw him the bone to give him those incentives, he was all in. And as a result, that, I remember watching Tim Patrick and Sutton in training camp and thinking to myself, man, if you were to lose one of these guys, then it would just be a total, buzzkill, because you need that kind of leadership. And they just didn't have that leadership outside of those two guys. I remember kind of looking at them together during camp, and they were talking, and I'm like, man, I mean, without those two, there's nobody else that gives you what they gave you, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you kind of had to be a little bit concerned, at least I was, at the thought of maybe trading Cortland and Tim. I mean, we see what Tim did in Detroit, carved himself out a nice role. Speaking of which, that game's about to get rolling here. I cannot wait for that one. I cannot wait for that one. I'm hanging around to see if D-Mac's going to hop on and join us, because I know Presser's just got done, but he's got a lot to go. So if you got anything else, drop yourself in the comments.
Now you have to hold the line for me. I got to get rid of some coffee.
Go
ahead.
You know
what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I feel you.
Yeah,
I feel you. Let's face it. Fishin says Carrie Underwood may be one of the hottest women alive. Agreed. There's no question about it. I mean, she's how could you go wrong? How could you go wrong? AFC playoffs set, 3-ish hours, and we'll know the NFC. Yep. And how about a big one tonight on Sunday Night Football? Lions and Vikings. Are you freaking kidding me? 14-2 Sam Darnold led Vikings. I remember, all offseason doing radio with Mike Evans, and he was a quarterback rehab, Sam Darnold, and you remember the Broncos kind of scoffed at paying Sam Darnold $12 million a year. They didn't want to do it. And so they went this path of drafting and developing, and it worked out extremely well for them. And I think for both parties are very happy with where they went. The Vikings actually covered both because they got McCarthy. He just got hurt. Let's see here. What's my parlay for Minnesota, Detroit? I don't know. It's a good question. I didn't play that one tonight. I didn't play that. Kurt jumps in here with Deshaun open with an onside kick. No, you can't do that anymore. You have to be, you have to tell teams when that's coming. Oren, you are phenomenal. Yeah, Oren's a great dude. Oren's awesome. Absolutely. Tooting my own horn here, says Andon. I said if Broncos didn't take the Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Year, Bo Nix, I was going to buy a Mahomes jersey, born and raised Colorado, and that's a big deal. This is a huge day. This is a huge day. As I said, the morning after the Broncos beat the Colts in the preseason, Broncos country should be ecstatic right now because you have someone you can believe in. It's not Drew Lock. There's a tangible plan here. And once the Russell Wilson money gets off of these books here, they are going to be free to then surround Bo with even more talent, which is a very exciting prospect because you have to have a team that's loaded for bear in the AFC West against Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert and whoever the Raiders end up going with eventually. You got 3 teams in this division that made the playoffs. In fact, now that I bring that up, are they the only division in the NFL off the top of my head that has 3 in the playoffs? 1, 2. No, the NFC North. So you in the NFC North, okay? Packers, Vikings, Lions, and then, of course, Broncos, Chiefs, Chargers. So I think all things considered, you've got to be pretty happy with where the Broncos are, considering the fact that this is a tough division, and their schedule was tough. It was a tricky schedule. I thought at the beginning of the year there was a shot they could start 0-4 with how tough their schedule was, and they absolutely went and proved everybody wrong, and that's the vindicating part here about Sean Payton is everybody told him how crazy he was for taking the 6th quarterback at 12 overall. And now Sean's got the double birds up to everybody because I was right. You were wrong. 6th quarterback off the board at 12. Screw it. I know what I'm doing. And remember at the owners meetings when he said that he thinks that they can evaluate quarterbacks better than everybody else. And we all kind of went, well, when have you done that? You haven't really directly worked with a rookie like that, even though he was instrumental in the developmental process of Tony Romo. He hadn't really helped them like that whatsoever. So for me, I just kind of laugh at the whole situation because Sean's the one with the last laugh, and he has far surpassed what everybody's expectations were. The Broncos were what was it 5.5 was the win total this year? Help me out, chat. Wasn't that the win total at the beginning of the year was 5.5? So I don't know. Let's see. Cole says, so beyond happy we dump Russ and drafted Knicks. Wishes do come true. That's the goal. And that's a really good point there, Cole, because when you get rid of Russ, isn't the whole plan to make sure that you have a better option because I can do better than Russ? I mean, they they finished with the identical record. So I would say that it's not even an argument that he was a great pick. Matt, you were highly critical of the Bo Nix selection, often saying that he was keeping the seat warm for Shedeur. I don't know if I was saying he was keeping the seat warm for Shedeur or that I might punt on quarterback this year to keep Shedeur or to at least go with Shedeur. But as I said many different times throughout the preseason, raising my hand to say, hey, I was wrong, right? Like I was wrong with that because the historical context of taking 6 quarterbacks in the first round had only ever been done once before, and that was in '83. And
John Elway draft, right?
Yeah, and you passed up on Brock Bowers and Dallas Turner, who I believe very highly in. And you go look at the rookie years that both those two guys had, they were right there on the board, and they would have been great selections as well, but not as transformative as Bo Nix. And if you believe in a guy, roll the dice with him. And Sean was extremely consistent since the start of saying that this was his guy, and he believed in Bo. And I guess at the end of the day, if you're going to give a coach that kind of a contract, he gets the keys because they handed the keys to Russ when they first traded for Russ, basically. Then they took them away and handed them to Sean. And it's Sean's show. So Sean should run it like he wants to run it because it's his way or the highway. And as with almost every coach, if you don't make it work your way, you're not going to ever make it work.
No. So let me, I'm coming on tail end of this. Keeping the seat warm for Shedeur is interesting to me. Thought experiment. How would Shedeur do under Sean Payton? How do you think?
Unbelievable.
You think?
Yes. Unbelievable. Yeah. I would. I hope that he could get a coach that would have that type of credibility and ability. And I think having the fact that he's that offensive mind makes a huge difference. Shadeur's going to be lucky to get a coach like that. If he goes number 1 overall to Tennessee, it's going to be Brian Callahan. And the hope there is that he worked really well with Burrow.
Okay.
But was I a person who was pounding the table saying this was the wrong year for quarterback? Yeah. And so I'm happy to be wrong about that one. Very happy to be wrong.
Yeah, you'll take it. And I'm again, like I said, when all the guys came off the board, with the guys left, I thought they should have taken Spencer Rattler. So
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
Bo Nix has played his way all the way over his, not even over his skis. I just think he's shown us what he's known all along that he was capable of, and then what Sean Payton saw. So
Yeah, I have not heard back from DMAC. I imagine that he's getting a bunch of stuff going on down there. And as Sunday Night Football gets rolling here, let's let, because I believe Altitude After Dark starts at like 8 or something like that. So let's get out of here. Oren, awesome. The Broncos are in the playoffs. We so appreciate everybody for tuning in. Where can they find you, O?
Good news _ travel fast on all platforms.
On all platforms. And for me, you see it down there in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen at Real Matt Smith, YouTube, Twitter. You know the drill. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. Make sure you're locked in later. I think it's 8 o'clock, Altitude After Dark with Coach Sanford and with DMAC. And, of course, he'll have his video recaps up and all the pressers and all the post-game stuff. We appreciate everybody out there for tuning in. That was fun. And maybe we'll do this again for the playoffs.
Fuck yeah, we're going to do it again for the playoffs. LFG, let's fucking go.
Because we can. All right, talk to y'all soon. Have a good rest of your Sunday night.
All right, man.